This is a troubling
I don't even
turn.
know if I don't know if they charge. I really don't. I just.
And also, you throwing at the first pitch. They should have rolled out the red carpet.
I really don't know what the lay of the land is. I've never parked in the lot. Everybody just parks across the street at the Target, or it used to be what was it? Bye Bye Baby. I think it's something else now. It's a whole big thing. Everybody.
That's
does
called
it.
See Ya, Baby.
No, I think it's a furniture store or whatever. And I don't have to explain myself. Good luck, Scott.
No.
Scott Erskine.
But do you really want your kids to see their dad do something illegal?
Help me out, Peter.
This is what he likes, though. This is who he is. This is his happy place.
It is funny, and I'm not complaining. I'm not. I'm just observing. Saturday was a really cool day for my family. And I've been accused of being a fraud for going.
I didn't accuse
now
you of that.
I'm sort of a criminal because I park across the street at the Target. It's funny how this show devalues things that I do.
All this
But I'm
show
good.
does
But
is elevate you.
it's part of the
People
charm of the
love
show.
you.
It's
People
part
love you.
of the charm of the show. I'm not complaining. I'm just observing that I've got to fend off all of these things to try to bring me down. You can't. It was a really fun time, and I really appreciate the Patriots. And Sparky Lyle was very nice, Michael.
He's a terrific guy.
He is.
Cy Young Award winner.
I think he's not the president. I'm not exactly sure of his title, but great people over there. Terrific. And Steve is a talent. Steve Cusimano. I think he's got a real chance of. He actually said he did some innings with Susan down when he was down in Florida for spring training. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's very good.
He is
very good. Let's go to Mitchell in Long Island. Mitch, what's up?
Hey, guys, how you doing? Long time. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm the limo driver. I haven't spoken to you guys in a long time.
There he is.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Listen, I have a couple of things I want your opinion on. I was reading the paper this morning. One thing I read was, and I applied this to the Knicks and the Rangers, when OG was procured by the Knicks are what, like 20-4 with him?
Yeah, I think overall now it's 24 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Matt Rempe. When he plays, the Rangers basically don't lose either.
Yeah, but I don't think
that
he has the
accurate, Don?
same impact as.
Yeah, really, which is crazy if you think about it. Both teams are going to make it to the finals this year. No question. I think that Leon Rose did a fantastic job, and the best thing the Rangers did was get Trocheck. Trocheck makes that team go, just like Josh Hart makes the Knicks go. The comparison to me is striking.
Do you believe that Trocheck makes it go, Don?
Oh, without question. I mean, he's centering a line in which his two wingers had career years this year. And I was thinking about it while I was watching the game. This guy played in Florida and Carolina. Matter of fact, Trocheck was on the Hurricanes team that lost to the Rangers in 2022. And he was a nice player, had some nice seasons, had a 53-point season for Florida back in 15-16, had a 51-point season with 21 goals his last year in Carolina. And now this year, he's going off 22 goals, 25 goals, 52 points this year, which is a career high. And when they got him, it's like, oh, I wonder if he's going to be Ryan Strome. I wonder if he's going to be as good as Ryan Strome. And now he's dwarfed Ryan Strome. And the same thing with Hart. I think when they got Hart, it's like, that's a nice move. And now he's become a really important piece, which shows you, like at the deadline when the Rangers got Roslovic and Wenberg, it's like, well, they weren't sexy. When Anunoby was dealt, it was the Knicks got fleeced. You know, people look at the headline grabbers, they look at the fantasy points, they look at what they perceive a player to be statistically. The question is, do they fit on what you do? And if they fit what you do, Michael, the sky's the limit. So Vincent Trocheck was a nice player. Now he's become a star with the Rangers because he fits exactly what they do, what they're looking for him to do. Same thing with Anunoby and Hart. So when they acquire these players, and I think the Rangers and the Knicks are kind of similar in this way, they weren't sexy moves. And now you're so proud and happy to have these guys, and you wouldn't want to ever let them go. But at the time, I don't know if either any of those moves moved the needle at all. Same thing with the Knicks. They were saying they got fleeced, Michael. Well, who got fleeced?
I was thinking about that. Like, the people that said that and the hateful tweets that were sent out, do those people, like, in quiet moments go, whoa, what a jerk I was. I was wrong. Because I think the brilliance of what Leon Rose has done and his front office is he's gotten guys that you just said, they fit perfectly. Don't forget DiVincenzo. They fit perfectly, and he removed guys that were good, but they didn't quite fit perfectly. Barrett didn't fit perfectly. He kind of took away from what Brunson could do. Quickly didn't fit perfectly, although he could have worked. They also let go of Obi Toppin. It's going to be interesting to see if Obi Toppin can get some revenge on them. I just don't think Obi Toppin fit perfectly what they do. The guys they've gotten fit perfectly. And that's the art of a front office. You can collect names, you can collect stars. Because at the trade deadline, Don, I'll admit it, I said, well, they really didn't make a sexy move, but they made the smart move, the Rangers. And the Knicks have made smart moves, too.
And Roslovic's playing right wing on the top line, had a gorgeous feed as a Zibanejad on the first goal. You know, Wenberg is doing a great job on that third rotation, winning faceoff. Again, they're not sexy. But that's not what you're trying to do. Good organizations find guys. And, you know, all great teams, they make moves that at the deadline didn't move the needle, and you look back and thank God we made those moves. And that's a credit, because that's what makes a good general manager, is being able to find that diamond in the rough. But it's not so much that, it's finding the player that fits into what you do. That's why this is not fantasy sports. When you got a fantasy roster, you're just looking at the numbers, right? Just throw them on. Yeah, I want to bring up those goals and those points into my fantasy team. But in actual sports, it's got to fit what you do, and finding the right player. Do they fit in the city they play in? Do they fit with the guys they're going to have to play with? Do they play the system or know the system that we work and know and try to win with? That's what good general managers do.
Well, if you're like me, you love to spend time at home.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. More than a point of sale, Square keeps you ready for any restaurant rush. And with Square, there are no hidden fees ever. At Square, get 24/7 support to help keep lines moving. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want, and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
What's one change you would like to make?
Just like every other goal, start with one. 1 rep, 1 mile, 1 workout.
If you're going to make one move, eat more plants and less meat.
To improve the quality of your sleep, go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time.
This is a wonderful place to start.
When finding your perfect pair of glasses is made easy and affordable, you can spend your time doing other things, like riding bikes, jumping off cliffs, or just enjoying the view. But it all starts with seeing, and that's where Warby Parker comes in. Visit a store or try 5 pairs for free.
So Home Chef has a new menu designed specifically for families, which is my favorite thing. I love that Home Chef helps me solve dinner for those nights where I just do not have the bandwidth to figure out what I'm doing. So I love to have these on option in the fridge waiting for me. There she is. So I got the teriyaki glaze on the meatballs and got some broccoli here. Oh, now Zoe wants to be in the picture.
I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
With Spectrum Mobile's Anytime Upgrade, you get to upgrade your phone anytime you want for free, which means you get the best, latest and greatest, most up-to-date technology out there. So say you want a bigger screen, less screen, more storage, less storage. Doesn't matter. Any color. You can upgrade anytime. And who wouldn't want that? Except for Ryan. And that's a life choice. That's respect.
I gotta get back to this.
Yeah.
Don't wait to upgrade your phone. Get Anytime Upgrade, included with Unlimited Plus from Spectrum Mobile.
It is aggressive. He's an aggressive man.
It was deserved.
Well played. Well played.
I don't think Michael agrees, Peter.
About what?
I think Michael agrees with the people who believe that I'm a fraud.
No. I told you what I felt. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but you're denigrating them when there is a semblance of legitimacy in what they're saying.
I don't think so.
All right, fine. I don't think so either, but there's a semblance of legitimacy.
Yeah, semblance. That's
because
like
you're embracing the Yankees. That's okay. I understand they're a great organization, and you should. Maybe you're smartening up.
But if they were the Padres, if they were the Cuban national team, it could have been. If it was Target had a team, if it was a high school league, it has nothing to do with who the team is run by.
If you believe there's a semblance of truth to it, then you probably believe there's a semblance of truth that I'm a fraud, that I'm on the S Network. Because they carry the Yankee
this is for money.
But what's the difference between money and...
There's a big difference between money and pleasure.
No. Or taking my family now to a game and enjoying myself. Now, if I scored the game and I've got, living and dying with the team, and that became my favorite team, and I'm watching every game, you can say, well, it's odd that he would be just so invested in a Yankee AA team. But for a guy that just enjoys the experience, and the kids enjoy baseball and hanging out with my family, as you outlined, Michael, it's difficult to just get a night off and drop everything and do something. So to be able to do that on a Saturday night with my family, it's the same as, trying to earn money, whatever is good for my family. So that's why I think that if you believe that there's a semblance of truth that I'm a fraud, then I should have turned down this job, working with even Michael working with Michael Kay. Even agreeing to work with Michael
100%.
should make me a fraud because he's the Yankee announcer.
See, now you're just expanding this to ridiculousness.
No, it started out as ridiculousness.
You grew up a Devils fan.
Yes.
And when the Rangers offered you the gig,
right.
What did I tell you? This is the real world, Don. That you're earning a living from this. Of course you take it.
Of course.
So money is different.
No, but money's not different. Money is contributing to what's good for my family. And I think taking my family out for a good time is also important in
But I could get you tickets to a Yankee game if you want to go to a big league game.
But it's also a much different experience. It's farther away, and they're not
but
asking
still,
me
you
to
want
throw
me
out
to throw the first pitch out at Somerset, and it's an hour and a half away from where I live.
Now, Don, you want to know something that we can all get on the same page behind?
What's that?
The yo-yos who run back after this, Funhouse.
You know what? We're starting to think alike.
I got to say,
well, it's not yo-yos. It's one person who has dedicated a good portion of his life to make fun of a guy who's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, his professional life is living with his head up Francesa's ass. I mean, that's his. Literally, someone say, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" He go, "Oh, I live in Mike Francesa's, his crevice."
I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think he does. He lives to make fun of Mike Francesa.
He lives to destroy him.
Well, yeah, but it's also it's his entire well-being. Also,
I don't know what the guy does professionally.
It's a great point. You know what? He
could be a doctor.
He could be a doctor.
He could be a
lawyer.
brain surgeon.
Whatever. I don't. He's actually not the point of this. But he put up a thing that said, which one would hate being roasted more, Don? And he posted a picture of Kay and Francesa. And overwhelmingly, the comments say Michael would hate it more.
Well, I saw it too. And I started to think, well, most of the people that follow back after this are Francesa acolytes. So they hate me. So, but it does to even ask the question to me, is weird because I've been roasted twice.
Yes, I was at one.
Once at the Yogi Museum.
Remove that. Remove the fact you've actually been roasted. You get roasted on your own show every day. I mean, you literally you get made fun of by your co-host every single day.
Yeah, read some of the comments. It's amazing. Oh, definitely Kay. So Kay is thin-skinned. When somebody said, well, Kay's awful at this. But if you say Kay has a huge head, Kay's all... I mean, the stuff that you do in roast, I would be delighted. I love to laugh. I think it's great. I thought Peter was the roast master, I believe, at the Yogi Museum.
Oh, yeah, right? I was at both of them. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was fun.
And then the before we even knew Peter, they had it at Tavern on the Green in Manhattan. Fordham did. My uncle was there.
Your mom was there.
My mom was there.
Yeah.
My mom got upset. But I think it's great.
I mean, it just shows. Here's the thing. I know, and this isn't, I feel bad. I take it back. Maybe back after this, he's a great guy and he doesn't live with his head up, where. That's fine. But it does go to show, though, how little for someone like considering his life, so much of his life on social media is about covering this man. No one knows the reality of the behind the scenes. That Michael Kay is a totally approachable guy, and Mike Francesa, most of his career was not. Everyone hated and interacted with him. That's not a known thing. He never treated people that great. It's one thing. You guys don't know that Kay's a nice guy in real life and can handle jokes. People are just so dumb. Just listen to our show.
But see, that's what I've always said, and you guys disagree with me. People don't know me at all. I mean, people have a completely different...
But it's your fault. I blame you.
How is it my fault?
I blame you.
I don't put on an act on this show. This is who I am.
Well, I know, but maybe it's the fact that, Don, maybe on the air, when Michael gets uptight or angry or yelly about the Yankees, maybe that ends up being the main thing people take away instead of all the other time when we're joking with each other and giving you a hard time and you're going right back and forth. Things that, God bless him, you can love the man's show. Francesa never would have done that.
But here's the issue, is that...
Here's the issue.
People only know Mike Francesa from Mike and the Mad Dog. I mean, maybe some of the real old school guys remember him covering college basketball and football for CBS, but for the most part... 99% of the people know him from being a talk show host in New York, which means they listen to the show, and they know him as that. There's a lot of people that hate Michael that never listen to the show, and that's why they don't listen, because they hate him because he's the Yankee announcer, and they're a Met fan, and they just hate the Yankees. So it's coming from a place of not knowing. So the answer is, Peter, these people that are saying Michael wouldn't handle it, they don't listen to the show or certainly don't consume it the way they consume with Mike Francesa, because they only know Mike as the talk show host. And that's where they formulate their opinion, whether they love him or hate him. There's a large percentage of people that have formulated their opinion on Michael that never listened to the show because of him doing the Yankee games.
You're right, because half of these comments are about him being Yankee boy. Right. So these are bitter Mets fans
or maybe
Yankee
fans that don't like me.
Or Yankee fans who don't like you, sure.
But I've been roasted twice. There were no punches thrown. I didn't go home and cry.
Oh, you loved it. Because I
loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
If you get it. And honestly, I don't know Mike well, but we worked together. I think he'd enjoy being roasted too. I mean, there is an honor to it. Now, I don't think you'd want to be roasted by a bunch of strangers coming up and screaming at you, but to have other famous people roast you, there's an honor to that. That's why I always laugh, oh, he really handled that well. Of course first of all, Tom Brady was the executive producer of it, so he knew what was coming for the most part. But it is an honor to be roasted. Nobody's don't get roasted.
Now,
well, yeah, in that sense, sure, yeah.
I can't comment on whether or not Mike would like it, but I would love it. I would love, again, the person who didn't like it, the roast at Tavern on the Green, because my mom was starting to, she ended up having dementia at the end of her life, and there was signs of it then, and she got really hurt and was really upset at the people that made fun of me. Oh. And that made me sad. I was trying to tell Mom, it's just, whatever.
My mom wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but I thought it was great.
Your mom would hate it. In fact, if you invited your mom to go to said thing, Don, I'd say you were a bad son.
Yeah, that's a bad call.
You can't. And by the way, it was a bad call by you, Michael. It'll be a worse call by you, Don. I mean, she knows she would hate it.
Now, we're talking about this, and back after this was talking about it because, the Brady roast. Now, Don didn't consume the Brady roast because he doesn't care about Tom Brady. I was Mesmer, I love comedy. I love roast. I think they're great because the woke nonsense is gone. I mean, they said some stuff on this show that you couldn't believe that they did, and I'm glad. The country has to loosen up a little bit. But here's the next question, Don. You're the king of the list, and Peter, you can do list as well. Top 5 athletes that you'd like to see roasted that would be really good. I got one because there's a lot of material.
Go ahead.
A-Rod.
I don't think he'd enjoy that, by the way.
Yeah, but it's not my point whether he enjoys it.
I know.
Or
I'm
not.
just throwing it out there. I'm not going to.
A-Rod would be terrific.
Jordan would be great.
Jordan would be good. Yeah.
There's a lot
I don't
there.
think he'd care for it either.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
so
he'd be
either.
a big fan. No.
Yeah, because you need material like Jeter.
Barkley. I think
Barkley's
Barkley's been roasted. He might have been roasted.
Yeah, it's almost like too obvious, but like he is still good.
There's got to be another baseball one.
What about Magic Johnson? On the other side, just of how like kind of lovable he is, but like I could see him being a great sport about it.
Yeah, he would be. That's not a bad one, Peter.
I think Magic would be a lot, and he's so beloved.
I got one.
Yeah.
You ready? Ron Rodgers.
I mean, there's a lot of material. A lot. That's not a bad one either. God, I want to come up
I
with
got one that Peter would like.
Okay.
How
Tyson?
about El Tigre?
If he was up for it at this stage in his life. A Mike Tyson roast would be good.
I thought there was one.
He's been a part of other people's roasts.
He was never roasted?
He's ended up getting roasted. Like he did the Charlie Sheen one, for example.
Oh, maybe that was it.
And so he got roasted, but it wasn't his roast.
Now, listen, all these, and I've been watching clips during the commercial break, and what Nikki Glaser did to Hart was
Hart, yeah.
Yeah,
she called him 15 cents.
It was really, because other people get roasted too, so they're funny. But like if you're a connoisseur of it, and you go back to the old days, the old time ones, Michael, the Dean Martin ones are.
Used to love those. Even as a kid, I loved the art form.
Yeah, and Muhammad Ali would be on there, and they'd throw stuff at Muhammad Ali all the time. So he would be a good one. I don't know if they ever actually had him. They might have, Michael. I don't remember.
I think they did. I'll have to look it up. But I don't look at YouTube, so I can't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So Drew Bledsoe told the Le Batard show today that Brady did, in fact, shut down the Robert Kraft slander.
And if that was legitimate, and Bledsoe saying it was, I could see that he probably convinced Kraft to come, and he probably told him nobody's going to mess with you.
But the only way that he got upset about it, he had to convey that message to everybody,
right?
And that it was broken, and that's why he got ticked off. And I can understand that. I know you got.
I mean, the fact that his ex-wife, was just abused, and he was abused because of it too, and even Bridget Moynihan. None of that stuff was off limits, but Robert Kraft's massage was off limits. It's kind of odd.
But I think you probably hit the nail on the head, is that was probably, he's coming here, he's not going to be here if he's going to be targeted, so maybe that was a concession that was made. But if you're a true roaster, you can't go in there with rules. But if something...
Yeah, but if there's something like if Brady said you can't talk about Giselle, I don't know if you could roast him then. I mean, there has to be some lanes for you.
Yeah, but you had to know.
Robert Kraft wasn't being roasted. He didn't really roast anybody.
But you got to figure a Tom Brady roast that Orchids of Asia was going to get brought up.
Had to.
So you had to. And if you're the executive producer, you probably said, "All right, guys, all bets are off. Do whatever you want, but this one thing I got to ask you, because Robert Kraft is coming. He's not being roasted. You got to lay off that."
How about Kevin Hart getting Kraft and Belichick to do a shot together? Belichick looked like he threw up in his mouth, but I thought he was a great sport. I thought he was great. You said it during our pregame meeting, Peter. What? I mean, have you ever seen a turn like Bill Belichick?
I never in a million years as someone who just despised the man, would have thought there'd be anything entertaining to come from Bill Belichick. And he's been entertaining in everything that he's done.
Now, how about this? Plenty of material, but I'm not sure he'd be a fan. Brett Favre.
Yeah.
They had a joke about
too
Brett
much material.
Favre. Did you hear that joke, Peter?
No.
They said, well, we've been doing this a long time, back when Brett Favre would actually fax pictures of his instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
But remember, it's gotten so much worse for Favre even since then.
Yeah.
I mean, now he did really bad stuff. Like, I just don't know, Don. I think he's kind of crossed the lexicon of
Aaron
laughing
Hernandez was also supposedly his fiancée, ex-fiancée. She's very upset.
Oh, you think? I wouldn't have watched that. I would not have recommended watching that show. They made jokes about his death constantly.
Now, because Strawberry's very religious, and you know him a lot better than I do. Do you think Strawberry would be a good sport?
Yes, he would. He'd be great because he's not pious. Let's put it that way. He's not holier than thou. He's spreading the word, but he has an unbelievable sense of humor.
You know who's not an athlete, but in our world and would be hilarious to see roasted, and I think he'd be a good sport, and God knows he'd be honored by it, would love the attention. Stephen A. The roast of Stephen A. would be great.
It would be.
And that could happen. I mean, he's a big enough name.
Absolutely. The roast of Stephen A. Smith with athletes, other media people, comedians would be fantastic.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jeff in Garden City. Jeff.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. I'm glad you brought it back to the roast here. And I'm really, sports, all sports aside, big fan, Michael. You and I are around the same age. When I look historically at the great sports athletes that have been roasted, obviously Billy Crystal and Howard Cosell roasting Muhammad Ali. He's a great sport. He was bigger than even his boxing abilities. He was a massive celebrity, and he had a great sense of humor. You talk about, believe it or not, Mel Allen early in the days at the Friars Club was roasted, as was Leo DeRocha. And so there are many. And as I started to listen to your list about, number one, you have to have a really good sense of humor. That's why I say people like Peyton Manning are the epitome of a sports athlete getting roasted, because they're so much more who they are. And I
did you watch the roast yesterday, Jeff?
I did. I
thought Manning was unbelievable how funny he was.
Yeah, and I think that, and I know I hope you don't cut me off too soon, but here's the thing about Brady. He's an amazing football player beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. It's great. But to some degree, and hear me out, that's what he is. He's not on TV. He's not announcing games. He's not a Barkley. He's not a Shaq. He's not a Stephen A. He's not in that area where there's I see him smile because he's in a great mood. And yes, there's material about his ex-wife, and maybe the Kraft thing was here. But, when you go on that show, no holds barred. That's the way it is. Everybody remembers Don Rickles. Jeff Ross is apparently the heir apparent to him. But roasting Tom Brady, it's a great roast, but other people get roasted, too, while they're there. Don Rickles did it to Dean Martin, did it to Frank Sinatra, did it to Stephen Eady. They were on the dais along with the quintessential, I forget the gentleman's name. He was always acting like he was an alcoholic.
Foster Brooks. Foster Brooks.
Right. So, it was a great evening to watch because I love roasts based on the fact that the comedy is just off the charts. And when he leaned in and he said, don't touch Kraft about it, it is sensitive. But look, Donald Trump has been roasted. Flavor Flav has been roasted. You have to have people who have a sense of humor. They themselves have to be willing to make fun of themselves. No holds barred.
It's like,
and the reason
and Jeffrey Ross is old school, where I could see him not agreeing to that, guys. Where Brady probably said, "Don't touch Orchids of Asia," and probably Jeffrey Ross said, "Listen, we're roasting it. Everything is fair game, but respond any way you want to respond, and I'm going to do it." Like, could it have been that, Michael? Because I just can't imagine Jeffrey Ross going in with rules.
If he said that, I think Tom Brady might have pulled out.
Well, if he told him he was going to do it, he refused to.
Yeah, and because Tom Brady's an executive producer of the show. I'm out.
It's just an amazing statement.
I didn't even understand when it was happening. I didn't know what was happening.
it's an amazing statement about how Brady feels about Kraft. I mean,
but it's amazing because he left him anyway. He left him.
Well, he left him. Obviously, that really was just a business thing, and he still loves him to death. He cared much more about that than the references to his children and his ex-wife and his ex-girlfriend.
That comes across as bad, too. Again, I think it's got to be no holds barred. That's the only way that it works. But, that's the mother of his children. So, like, if you're not going to stand up for her and you stand up for Robert Kraft, it's a bad look. It had to have been performative.
You know what the weirdest part is to me, Michael? I don't know if you caught this.
But Bledsoe said it wasn't, Don, so we can only go by that. What, Peter? I'm sorry.
The weirdest part to me in terms of Brady's personality or like being overly cautious was when Ron Burgundy made the joke, kept calling her Gazelli and messing up her name, and then goes, "Oh, she's wonderful. She's Spanish. She's from Spain." Isn't that right, Tom? And Tom literally just looked at him and went, "I don't know." I was like, "You can't even say the words? She's from Brazil?" He didn't even respond. Like, I'm not even sure. I'm not
that was
where
weird.
she's from.
That was
I
weird.
was like, this is a guy who. There's something about Brady, and it was interesting to see him be a somewhat normal guy yesterday, but it was so disconnected to me.
The reason I think, and sorry to disagree with Drew Bledsoe, and he'd know more than me, but I would think it's performative. It's just like what you said about Michael and I invited my moms to a roast. Like, if you know it's no holds barred, then wouldn't you have to ask him not to go? If he's sensitive about it being brought up, I can't have it go.
If anybody was going to roast my mom, I would have pulled out. I mean, but me, nobody roasted her, so I don't think it's equal to that.
Yeah, but
like I never told the roasters don't pick on my mom. I think that they would know that, but he's not even. I mean, they made fun of Tom Brady's sisters.
And then Jeffrey Ross was at the Fordham one, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wow, I don't remember.
I thought he ran the whole thing. But that's a different format. It's not on television. I mean, there's a reputation that Jeffrey Ross, as the roast master, has to live up to. You can't have rules, right? So,
well, Peter, I know you're good at this because I see on my feed. I haven't been able to look. Jeffrey Ross was on with Rich Eisen, so maybe it's addressed there. Maybe it'll come out.
Well, I'll look around.
We'll continue to take phone calls. Knicks with a big game one tonight. But Tom Brady, when they said that about Kraft, looked like he was in pain, Don. So what should he have done?
Well, he should have went to go see our friend Don.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Before ClickUp, we were kind of a mess. We had so many different systems that we were using to communicate and share knowledge that you kind of had to code switch every time you were talking to somebody different.
We have distributed teams all across the world. There's a clear time difference there, and I think ClickUp really helps manage all that information regardless of time. We can communicate asynchronously, and so we are able to be very productive using ClickUp.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little,
I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor when I was like a small child.
I wanted to be a celebrity, like by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
My dad is a gamer.
My dad.
My brother. My grandmother.
My dad's a big gamer, still is. People will either like me or they will hate me, and I think that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Been there, done that, messed around. I'm having fun. Don't put me down. I'll never let you.
With Allegra, allergies won't hold me back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin, and unlike Zyrtec, won't make me drowsy. Nothing beats Allegra. It's the fastest, non-drowsy, 24-hour allergy relief.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today.
We should congratulate Rick and Dave because we all got it wrong. Rick and Dave really pummeled Amani Toomer and Anita Marks in the pickleball tournament. A lot of people showed up. They ended up streaming it, which was a smart move. And Rick took his shirt off. He ripped his shirt off when they won.
Oh, I saw it. Sure,
Yummy.
I did.
And
well, that's not what I would say, but yeah.
It's not what you said. I would.
And Dave was better than we thought. You know, the thing that we missed with Dave is that he did play tennis in high school. So pickleball is kind of an extension, a little bit of tennis.
Sure.
So he didn't embarrass himself. It's not like he was throwing a ball, which is terrible. And they won. So I think all three of us picked the other team, but congratulations to Rick and Dave.
And they had a great turnout, so congratulations not only to Rick and Dave, but everybody involved with ESPN, and Anita did a great job with the pre-show, and just it's been a really good couple of events for DNR, because they had the Met game last Thursday against the Cubs. They had a tremendous turnout for that, ended up seeing a great game. Mets came back and won on the Lindor hit. So they've had a nice couple of weeks here. Good for them.
Now, one thing that needs to be noted, it was an impressive performance. The crazy thing about Dave is he hit the ball pretty well, but Michael, he's like so awkward that even like him celebrating is physically awkward.
Listen, I don't want to rip my friend.
Like he's like, he celebrates like Howard Dean, Don.
He's not an athlete. Now, he played tennis in high school, just like I played baseball in high school. And that's why I was able to throw the way I did on Saturday. But, the body, we've betrayed our bodies. Let's be honest. We didn't take care of ourselves. But I don't get the sense that he's athletic. But that's okay. He's a great talk show host.
And he got a great win. Big dub.
Big dub. Good for them. I'm always happy when Rick wins. Because when Rick wins, the world wins.
I don't find that to be the case. I mean, I like Rick, but I like Dave a lot, too.
Well, I like Rick more than Dave. I don't dislike Dave, but I like Rick more than Dave.
Yummy.
You hear that?
Well,
yummy. Strange man.
So we mentioned that Jeff Ross was on with Rich Eisen, and he said that Tom Brady was really not mad at the Kraft joke.
So I'm going to believe him.
Was not mad. Is that what you said, Michael?
He said he was not mad, yeah.
All right, well.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Blanderson Hooper.
There you go.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
What's up, Blandy?
I got a point about Brunson, but before I get to that point, I'm 46 years old, so I remember '94 and the Riley years. I remember '99 and the Van Gundy years, and obviously the last 20 or so years have been miserable, to say the least. So much so that my friends and I have, for the last 6 or 7 years, we actually have a Knicks podcast called "It's a Hard Knicks Life."
Oh,
and so,
I like it. Clever.
So to finally see this team winning again, and to be excited about this team, to be able to share with my kids who are 13 and 16, I think is great. It's great for the town, and it's just great for New York in general. As for Brunson, earlier in the year, I had spoken to you guys, and I had suggested the idea that maybe Brunson could end up being, or he was on his way to being, the best New York point guard since Walt. And you guys, rightfully so, gave me a little pushback. You talked about Mark Jackson. You talked about Seth Marbury. So my question is, as of now, do you think, does it seem like more of a thing to you? Can you see him, if he keeps up this pace, being basically number 2 in Knicks history behind Clyde? Obviously, he's got a lot to do. There's still more to go, but could you see that happen?
You're just saying point guard, right? Because Charles Oakley said he's the best Knick since Walt Frazier, and Mark Jackson really answered back angrily. He said, Patrick Ewing's the greatest Knick of all time.
Oakley has a problem with Patrick, let's be honest.
I'm just talking about a point guard.
If he can, I don't want to give that to him, Blanderson, after just 2 years, although they've been a great 2 years. If he does this for another 2 or 3 years, I think he probably surpasses Marbury, and he probably passed Marbury now, and he definitely surpasses Jackson.
But the chip would change everything.
There's nothing he could do that surpasses Walt Frazier. Sorry.
I guess I don't. I wouldn't even rule that out, because if this team won a championship, and you said it, Michael, that this is probably the worst Knick team of the next 3 or 4 years, so they are only going to get better. So they win a couple of championships. That's a lot to ask. But if they were able to figure it out, you don't think he can go up there with Frazier?
Frazier was so great.
No, of course he was great. But with Brunson, if he plays another 5 years here and they win a couple of championships in the process, you're not going to rule that out.
If they win a couple of championships, then you can't rule it out.
I mean, listen, that's a lot to ask, because Clyde's a Hall of Famer and in the championships and all that. So listen, but they haven't got out of the second round yet here. So let's not all of a sudden go crazy. But I think because of his age and what he's been able to accomplish, I think there's the potential there, because the championship changes everything, Michael. It just does, especially for a team that hasn't won. So can you imagine how special a Knick championship would be after all these years? Because look what it did for those Rangers. Richter, Messier, Leach, Graves. It elevated them to superstardom. I don't know
51 years.
If anybody, I don't know if any of those guys outside of Leach, who ended up in the Hall of Fame, would have gotten the same love if they lost to the Devils in the conference final in '94 and never won. But once they've won, they're legend. Michael, you should see the reaction yesterday. It was Glenn Anderson, Adam Graves, Mike Richter. There was a fourth one. The place just, they're 30 years later. The place is, so if they're able to win the chip, it would be unreal how all of these guys will be viewed.
I would agree. Mark Messier never has to buy dinner for the rest of his life in this area, ever. Let's go to Gordon in Rochelle Park.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon.
What's going on?
It's been a while. How are you guys?
Good.
Great.
Good. Listen, I've got a couple things. You know, I did watch Wolf Frazier and Earl the Pearl back in the glory days, and nobody was smoother than Wolf Frazier. I mean, I watch a lot of Brunson, but there's, you know, it's a different game back then. But you know, Brunson, I mean, all the flopping and all the hands to the face every time someone comes near you, you know, it's kind of laughable. But listen, Brunson's been great. I don't think, you know, you guys have been fair about the Pacers, and not everyone is right now. But I have to tell you, I watched a lot of the Pacers. I do like to bet on these games occasionally, and when they get on a roll, they're just about impossible to beat.
But that's the key, though, Gordon. The Knicks have to stop them from getting on a roll.
Absolutely, and the Knicks do play great defense, and that is the big drawback for the Pacers. They play terrible defense, but you know, I mean, sometimes they'll surprise you, but they do get on, you know, these up and down, you know, fast break rolls that aren't 5 minutes. They last 2-3 quarters. So, you know, the Knicks, you know, they're going to be in for a real tussle here. It's not going to be some cakewalk. And also about Pete Alonso. Listen, I've been a huge Met fan all my life. And Pete goes into these, you know, if you've watched what you have, he goes into these funks the last couple of years especially. I think he's going to come out of this thing, and he's going to start hitting, and he's going to start, you know, putting a couple home runs out at a time, and doubles and so on. And the average may not be what, you know, what we would think is really so terrific, of course, 225, 235. But as far as the power, he's going to do it.
Yeah, but the thing with the average, we can't just dismiss the average, and I'm going to tell you why. If he ends up hitting 210 with 45 home runs, he really expects to get paid what Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson got paid? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now, there's a certain skill and an incredible value to a home run hitter, but if he wants to like get $40 million a year like Aaron Judge, it's not happening. Because although he's gotten better, he's certainly not a great defender at first. He's going to be, what, 30, Don, when he becomes a free agent?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If Pete got $30 million a year, he should grab it. Because the last thing I want for Pete Alonso is to be sitting there on March 17th next year, just like Boris's clients were this year, and not have a job. Because if he's holding out for Aaron Judge money, he's not getting it.
Well, and also what it would do is really hurt his chances of staying here, because it would feed into the narrative of why I think the Mets are apprehensive to give him a contract.
Right.
So he'll get paid, but he won't get paid what he wants.
Let's go to Alan in Westchester. Alan.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good. What's up?
First of all, I heard last week you guys were doing the In the Wild stories, and I was trying to get through, and I wanted to give you one if you don't mind.
Of course. What do you have?
So I'm about Michael's age, and I was about 10 or 12 at the time, so you can do the math. I grew up in L.A., and we had season tickets to the Dodgers. And we went to a game against the Cardinals, and Jim Brewer, Dodger closer, hung a screwball that Lou Brock hit about halfway up the pavilion, the bleachers at Dodger Stadium, to win the game in the ninth inning. And there was a guy on second base when he hit the ball. So then my father could see that I was very upset because, you know, as a kid, the Dodgers lost. So he said, hey, you want to get Vin Scully's autograph? So we went up to the top of the press box level, and we waited for Scully to finish, and he came out, and he was very gracious, of course, and he signed our programs. And then we got in the elevator to go down to the parking level, and it was just my family, my sister, my mother, my father, and me, and Scully in the elevator. And Scully wasn't we went to the back, and we were standing behind him and saw his back. And what do you say to Vin Scully, right? In an elevator, he's a legend. It's like being in an elevator with Michael Kay. I was completely speechless. So then suddenly it's totally quiet. Just you could hear a pin drop, and then you see Scully slowly shake his head, and he says, "Never should have pitched to Brock." And then the elevator door opens, and he walks out into the night. And that's my In the Wild story. Do you guys
See,
like
but you know what? It's a great story, but it's not in the wild. You're a Dodger State.
No.
That's where Vince Scully's supposed to
It's
be.
the opposite of the wild.
Yeah.
It's a good story, though.
No, it's a very good story. But
I did come up with an In the Wild. I
You did?
remembered something over the weekend. I was on, remember the old Eastern Shuttle?
Okay.
Oh, Eastern Airlines.
Eastern Airlines, Eastern Shuttle, and then Donald Trump bought it, become the Trump Shuttle, but it was the Eastern Shuttle then, and I was going to Boston for a Red Sox game, Yankee Red Sox game, and on the flight, sitting like a row behind me, was Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy and Howard Cosell.
That's a nice combination. How did you not forget that?
Yeah, how you leave that out of the In the Wild?
I just because I didn't have any interaction. I mean, I like it was with you and Seinfeld. He ran by, you didn't stop him, and I kept. My mind was like trying to edit things out of like interaction. I didn't have any interaction. All I kept thinking was, God forbid if the plane went down, I'd be and others.
Oh, you would have absolutely been and others.
Yeah, yeah.
Would have taken many paragraphs to get to you.
I don't even know if I make the cut.
You probably don't.
Because I was a writer then. So.
Oh my Lord. Nothing.
You know what I realized today? I didn't even know this. You know,
What? Tell us.
my In the Wild, it's not a big one, but Peter would appreciate it, was Cornel West. We were on the same flight to Nashville together, and I interacted with him. I didn't even realize today he's running for president. Did you know that?
Yeah, the fact that you didn't realize it's not going well.
Yeah, I did know that, but that is problematic for his campaign.
Well, yeah, he's running as an independent. I just saw a poll, and I saw he was there. And
Well, Kennedy's running as an independent. People have kind of heard of RFK Jr.
Right.
Well, no, people know that Cornel West is running.
Yeah, but not the same level of RFK Jr.
All he had to do was have speculation that Aaron Rodgers was going to be his VP. It would have put him in a great spot.
And also a great, a great family name to kind of help when you're running for president. But I didn't know that. But Cornel was very nice.
Hey, don't be the guy with the T-shirt on in the pool this summer.
Yeah,
Contact MJ Dye today.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered. They're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, to be just known for baseball.
The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. New series premieres May 9th on Yes and the Yes app.
Not that easy to do, but with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Introducing Domino's new New York-style pizza, made with our fresh, never-frozen dough that's stretched thin and cut into 6 foldable slices. But what's the best way to eat it? Fold it, fork and knife it, or double-handed? Order Domino's New York style and decide for yourself.
It really doesn't matter what your politics are. The military, these people are serving our country, and they need help. The United States is so much better than every other country. And it would not happen without people who risk their lives, and that's who you're supporting.
I want to hear what you rate the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Right, which is always high pressure when I'm sitting right next to the guy. It's like, but we'll give it 10, even though I don't generally give 10s. That's a rookie score. But we'll give it 10. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't a 10.
So let's do good together.
Let's do it.
What's your favorite part of a Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
Nope. The inside.
The wafers?
No, the stuff in between the wafers.
Oh, the in-between stuff.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. And try a bigger bite with Big Cat.
Go behind the numbers with a brand new series on the Yes app.
17.
My first number in the big leagues.
1734.
But Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Gracie Cashman hosts a new Yes app series, The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Watch the premiere with Aaron Boone, Thursday at 9 after the Yankees on the Yes Network.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
You know what's brilliant? Boring. Think about it. Boring is the unsung catalyst for bold.
What straps gold to a rocket and hurtles it into space? Boring does.
Boring makes vacations happen. Early retirement's possible.
And startups start up.
Because it's smart, dependable, and steady. All words you want from your bank. For nearly 160 years, PNC Bank has been brilliantly boring, so you can be happily fulfilled. Which is pretty unboring if you think about it.
Break up with your old wings and lemon pepper wing from Popeyes. Crispy, saucy, available. Popeyes finally has wings in 6 flavors.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Psst, psst.
With Flonase, allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily gives you long-lasting, non-drowsy relief. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good. Also, try our allergy headache and nighttime pills.
Step into the world of Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. Score rewards by playing your favorite games and get your winnings almost instantly with lightning-fast withdrawals. So what are you waiting for? Have a great time in your downtime. Download the Golden Nugget Online Casino app and get started today with this great offer.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
While major international soccer is coming to New York this summer, FC Series and Soccer Champions Tour presents Manchester City and AC Milan at Yankee Stadium on July 27th. Enter for your chance to score tickets at ESPNNewYork.com or on the ESPN New York app. Scroll down the contest, submit your entry. 2 grand prize winners will also receive either a Man City or AC Milan jersey. Want some of the best teams in the world? Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at FCSeries.com. Now, you guys know I love ESPN, right?
Oh, big time.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes they confuse me. All right, so Nick's Muse, which I follow, it's a good site on X, if you like the Knicks, they pointed this out. So I wanted to point it out to our listeners. ESPN ranks Jalen Brunson as the 15th most valuable player in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Wait a minute.
Now, how does that make sense?
No.
He scored, more, as Nick's Muse points out, he scored more points than any other NBA player in the first round.
No, right now, he should be the favorite to win MVP based on what he did in that first round. How he played the last 4 games. And fifth, so there's 14 other players that had more of an impact on the first round of the playoffs than Jalen Brunson. Please, name them. Play. I'll give you.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
He's being trolled.
Can't even be but that can't even be possible. It can't even be possible.
Well, it is.
No, you have to be getting pickled.
Yeah, because there's
No.
This can't. Wait, hold on. Read it one more time, Michael.
Oh, Anthony. What are the names of the other 14?
Jokic 1, Edwards 2, LeBron James 3, Kyrie Irving 4,
Stop.
Derek White 5.
Well, how's
Joel
LeBron
Embiid,
3? They lost.
6.
That's.
No, Jokic and Edwards, they're above him. All right, go on from there. I'm sorry.
Anthony Davis 7, Jalen Williams of the Thunder 8, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 9, Michael Porter Jr. 10, Jason Tatum 11, Doncic 12, Harden 13, Franz Wagner of the Magic, 14.
All right.
Then Jalen Brunson.
So, okay, can you read what the qualifications were again? Because maybe there was something about that we didn't understand. Go ahead, read it again.
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to go back and look at the top here.
Because this doesn't even make... Don, unless there's some sort of strange qualification that involves things that nobody knows about.
Yeah, it looks like it's some sort of statistical algorithm.
Consensus wins, which averages a player's value across a number of advanced metrics, combining estimated Raptor box plus minus win shares and player efficiency.
Enough already. Come on, you know what? And again, I'm going after my own company, but they're just playing to the room.
We suck.
It is almost as if there are a certain amount of people that really want to actually remove all fun from sports and just make it a math class. And if you love math, good on you. But or what they're trying to do is, I'm so much smarter than everybody else. I'm going to tell you while your eyes are betraying you, I'm going to go so deep inside the numbers that you watch the first round of the playoffs and you can come up with 14 players that were better than Jalen Brunson. You know what? I don't want to be involved in sports anymore if you look at it in that way. It's almost like fine art, right? Somebody vomits on a canvas, like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that before. No, the guy threw up on a canvas. Oh, you just don't know because you don't appreciate art. It's like, would you think you're smarter than me? Then go enjoy sports. I hated math in school, and if math is now going to become what sports is about, I'm out. I'll become a DJ someplace, spin records.
Now, speaking of art,
hate people.
I wanted to ask Peter this before the big 5 o'clock hour, and I'm being totally serious. I try to follow it because I like pop culture and all that. What is this going on between Kendrick and Drake? Why does it start? Do people actually put records out to insult the other person?
Listen, this would be a tough course of a couple of songs where little things got said. And then in the new era that we live in, where social media, the combination of social media, how easy it is to release music, and how popular hip-hop has become, when you add those things up, we got sort of this new version of rap battle that we've never quite seen before, where, yes, they are literally making and producing song after song, going back and forth at each other in a matter of days.
But they're saying really salacious things about each other.
Yes, and getting very, very...
personal.
Very personal. And that has been a thing for a long time.
Like they're saying that Drake has a secret child, go even further, and it's not stuff that you would like if you're on the other end of it. It's not roasting.
No, it's beyond roasting. If someone had said in the middle of the roast last night and just called someone a pedophile, I think people would have went, okay, well, this isn't even fun anymore.
Right.
This has gone to that place. Now people are speculating that Drake, who put out a song last night in which it was sort of a lot of calling out lies and saying, a lot of people thought that Drake's song last night was kind of like crying to the refs, like, hey, this has gone too far, no one's telling the truth anymore, and people think now it's over, that he's kind of was waving the white flag. Don, you remember what was Apollo's manager, who also became Rocky's manager as the Rockies went on?
Oh, well, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Underrated member, but you remember, throw in the damn towel.
Yeah.
A lot of people they're getting that energy last night. Was throwing
so then
the damn
Kendrick
towel.
won.
That's what it's. I think anyone with a real pulse at this moment believes that Kendrick has won.
Now, do they legitimately not like each other as humans?
I would say that's where they're at now. Yes,
but it hasn't always been that way.
I think it had always been like a low-level not liking or appreciating of each other. Like, Drake brought Kendrick on tour, and Kendrick did songs with Drake, and they had moments where they had a good relationship, and then at some point things went left. But most notably, if you really want to get deep, you could argue that it's sort of a fight for the soul of hip-hop, of what the whole thing's about. What are you about? What do you stand for? What is your music about? I think that's why Kendrick is so anti-Drake, because I think on a certain level, he just has a disdain for what Kendrick does with his power and his abilities. I'm sorry. Kendrick has a disdain for what Drake does with his power and his abilities. I believe that, yeah.
I hate to see people not get along.
I know.
You know how I am.
Have you thought about stepping in?
I've thought about it, but I don't think I could. I don't have the avenue to send out my diss track.
Well, you wouldn't want to throw out a diss track. You'd be trying to find unity. This would be more
unity
like,
track.
Yeah, like a We Are the World type of situation where you're the Quincy Jones kind of, if you will.
So can there be a bunch of people in hip hop that can produce that kind of We Are the World to try to bring those two together? Is there
a chance that this could be a work?
I've thought about the work. I think now it's officially impossible because once you go into the stuff that both of them have gone into, but particularly with Kendrick laying in these like pedophile claims,
right?
I think that wouldn't that go beyond what Drake was willing to do?
Yes,
because now you're talking about. I got a fascinating text by a friend of all three of ours. Someone who you would think was not of the generation to care about this.
Billy Crystal.
Not Billy Crystal.
Okay.
Younger than Billy. Older than me. Younger than Billy Crystal.
Jack Curry.
Jack Curry would know.
You're in the right wheelhouse, Don, to some degree, but no. But made a really good point, which was that this person said, I think Drake is done as of yesterday because, if nothing else, his corporate connections have probably been like, the things that are getting said about you now are going too far. And if any of them stick to you, the Nikes, the NBAs, the people, the NHL, who Drake has a relationship with, all of these places are going to be like, oh, dude, we can't have this stink near us.
Well, I thought I'd explore it. And Peter,
did I give you a little bit? Did you feel you?
And now you discovered.
It still doesn't make sense to me. I mean, are they selling these tracks, or is it just
they're streaming? They're actually streaming officially.
Well, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
At Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, being the Northeast's best cancer center means being the best for you. Pairing the most advanced treatments with the most compassionate treatment. It takes looking at every cancer from every angle. And a care team that looks out for you and everyone you care for. It takes MSK.
What's the score of the game?
The score is 6-3.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. Get up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Elantra. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees and more of your New York teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning, which ranks even higher than the 18th best feeling, saving a kid from a well. 59 years later. Find the #1 feeling winning on FanDuel Casino Reward Machine. Free to play every day with a chance at a $2,000 top prize.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO. It only works from the other side of the screen, buddy.
You still got a landline in your house.
Order now on the Subway app.
New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm. Easy to grip and massage and the power of 2 max strength pain relievers. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case, but would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
Is your cat getting too cool? Give him Temptations dry cat food.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
This is high-quality stuff. Got the Knicks and the Pacers tonight. And if you'd like to hear it, you could hear it right here on 98.7 ESPN.
Ray Rowe.
Pre-game show starts at 7. Tip-off right around 7:30, live from Madison Square Garden. How great is that?
You kidding me?
How great is that?
Can't be greater.
I love it. I love it. We mentioned this at the start of the show. Mike Vaccaro in his column today. Since the Knicks franchise began, when they have home court advantage in the series, and they lose the first game of the series at home, they lose the series. They've never come back from losing the first game of the series when they have home court advantage, and they have that tonight. I've picked the Knicks in 5, so it would seem like I think it's going to be just an easy, walk in the park. I don't think that. Things can go wrong. Just like I said, things could go wrong with the Sixers, and I picked that one in 6. Things could go wrong here. They have more height. They have a deeper bench. They can shoot the three like the Knicks, and they get up and down the floor, and they put a lot of points on the board. The key for the Knicks is going to be this. You've got to slow them down a little bit. Don't let them score 130, because the Knicks don't have a deep enough team, I believe, to score 130. So I think they're so good defensively, and they have such good defensive principles that I think they'll be able to slow Indiana down a bit. Now, that also means that the Knicks have to shoot at a pretty high percentage from the field, because if they do that, it's harder to run off a made basket. But if they miss shots, then they're going to just sprint out, and that's what they do. And they throw up a lot of threes as well. I think it's going to be a very interesting chess match of a series. The things that worry me, as I said, about the Pacers, they've got height and they've got depth. The Knicks don't have depth. They're going to have a 6 or 7-man rotation unless Tibbs has some sort of epiphany. And I don't think he is, because in a game that they had to win in Philadelphia, he played 6 people. 6 people. So I think it's going to be a really fun series, and I think the Knicks will move on, and they will play the winner of the Celtics and the Cavs. And Vegas thinks it's definitely going to be the Celtics.
And this is a team that ranks second in offensive rebounds. That's how the Knicks got through Philadelphia. They always got those second and tertiary opportunities off the missed shots, and that's exactly what the Pacers can do. So you got to respect this team offensively. They're an outstanding offensive team, but they're not great defensively, and that's usually how it works. So it's very high scoring, which is contrary to what you usually see, especially as you get deeper into the playoffs. So the problem for the Knicks is going to be their depth. The problem for the Pacers is defense, and that's probably the stumbling block for these two teams winning a championship. But as far as winning this series, I'm always going to go with a team, especially this stage of the playoffs, that's the better defensive team. I don't see this Pacer team putting up 125, 130 points against this Knicks team, and that's what they did during the regular season to win most of their games, especially against the Knicks in the regular season.
Yeah, they took 2 out of 3. Now, the first game was December 30th, I believe, so the Knicks had already made the trade for OG. He had not shown up yet. So OG did not play in any of the 3 games, because the other 2 games, he was recovering from the elbow problem. So this is the first time that they're going to have to deal with OG Anunoby. I believe that Halliburton, the first person that Halliburton's going to take on, is DiVincenzo. And obviously they have a lot of options to put on Halliburton, but Halliburton's the key for them. And you know what? I thought DiVincenzo did an unbelievable job on Maxey. And they're going to use hard on him, too. It's key to slow down Halliburton. But there are other players on this team. Turner can shoot. They've got a pretty stout front court. I think they can all score. They have a really good coach. This is no walkover. You don't get to be one of the final four teams in the Eastern Conference and be a bad team. So we'll see. I'm pumped up. Also hearing rumors, Don. Peter has a celebrity row seat for tonight. That's what I'm hearing.
You just made that up.
No, I'm hearing that.
Well, no. Are you hearing it from a bird?
And why didn't they tell me?
Oh, I thought you knew.
So I need to make plans then. What time's tip?
7:30?
Yeah, it's going to be tough now.
Well, let's say you made plans tonight. Let's just play along with this nonsense. And Jim Dolan calls you right now and says, listen, I'd like you to sit next to me, first row. You wouldn't cancel those plans?
I have a work commitment. I don't know if I can make it. I said I could be there by 7:45.
No, not good enough. You have to be here at 7:30.
He's got a work commitment, Michael.
I can't. I got a work commitment.
You ask him to be a bad guy?
Well, first of all, the work commitment would have to be a podcast of some sort.
Yep.
That's very, very movable.
Well, says you.
Not this. Me and Beetle Over the Top podcast is like which by the way it's available wherever you find podcasts. It's fantastic.
Is it available the same place as your other podcasts?
Yeah, you can find it the same place you find Cheap Heat. But the difference is on this one we culturally cover so many things. You'll get a lot of sports and a lot of NBA playoffs. But you also get the Drake and Kendrick. There'll be so much stuff. But anyways,
will you talk Tom Brady roast?
I'm sure we will.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? My guess is that she's like Don. My guess is she has no use for Brady whatsoever. If I were to predict Beetle, but the thing is, we have like a team of people, and it's a time that's scheduled, and everybody has to be there at the same time. I can't just walk out.
What this is, Peter, is a completely disrespect to the podcast industry. Michael figures podcast. So don't do it. Who cares? That's what that is, Michael. Right?
But by the way, he's right in a lot of cases,
but not yours.
No, I mean, if I said I had to record Cheap Heat tonight, then I could say, well, Michael would say, well, you change it, and I'd say, well, that is a good point. I'm the boss. I'll do it later. It's okay. But we do Over the Top. It's for Wondery. They pay for people to produce it and be there. It's a whole operation.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment, Don. It's a commitment.
But I mean, the podcast industry to me is a little bit of the Wild West. I mean, I love him to tears. Blanderson Hooper has a podcast.
Right, but
well, why are you saying something bad about Blanderson?
Yeah, I'm not. I say I love him to death. Everybody has a podcast.
True,
but not all podcasts are equal.
But this isn't. I feel like talking today, so I'm going to do a podcast. There's a schedule. There are people getting paid. Mm-hmm. And they've scheduled today to be this podcast. There's a lot of responsibility. There's sponsors, so there are podcasts, and then there are commitments to podcasts. So this isn't just your willy-nilly, I feel like having a pod. You're right, everybody has a podcast, but not everybody has a podcast at the level that Peter has this one with Beetle.
It's a bit different, sure.
Well, you know what? I'll call Jim and say you're not interested.
And that's Bunker Suite, too. Now, the Bunker Suite's not great for viewing, but it's great for eating.
But this is all made up. But this is all made up.
I know, but you got to suspend disbelief here for a second.
Well, I know,
it's the K show.
I know, but now I'm going, wait a second, a Bunker Suite, I really want to go.
Can I join?
Yeah, and I need
but
to.
John, it's not the Bunker Suite. It's where Jim sits under the basket.
Oh, really? I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, because I go by where Jim sits for hockey. And it's center ice with the Bunker Suite.
Yeah. Now, speaking of hockey, Don, are the Rangers going to lose? They're 5-0 in the playoffs. Are they going to lose a game?
Of course they are, sure.
How do you know?
Because nobody goes 16-0 and wins the Stanley Cup.
Moses Malone Sixers almost did.
Well, it's not going to happen here. Carolina's too good. I'm not saying the Rangers aren't winning the series, but you saw last night how difficult it's going to be to put this team away. You got a comfortable 3-1 lead after one, and you're 2 for 2 on the power play, and you're 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. And the next thing you know, there's 40 seconds to go. There's a face-off to the right of Igor Shesterkin, and they got a two-man advantage, Carolina, to try to tie the game. Now, they caught the break with the Svechnikov trip on Lindgren, that not only even things out, Michael, to put the faceoff down in the Rangers' offensive zone, so they bought a ton of real estate, and with 35 seconds to go, the game is pretty much over at that point. But that's how the series is going to be. And then the winner of Boston, Florida, which would be next up for the Rangers, that's going to be a beast as well. So they're playing great. They're 5-0, but you definitely saw the level of play escalate from Washington to Carolina. So it was a good game to get. You needed to draw first blood. They did that. They're now, Michael, 22-8 in game ones at home in history. So they've been good here, but, you know, they've got a lot of work to do. Tomorrow's going to be huge, Michael, huge. Because if they even things out, now it becomes a best-of-5 series with Carolina having home ice. So let's see if they can keep this going.
Now, I got to tell you the level of obsessiveness of my sister.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yesterday was my great niece's second birthday. So they had a little something at my niece's house. So after the Yankee game got, shortened because of rain, I headed there. And her and her husband, Peter, they're sitting there. She, every game, Don, she wears not vintage, a legitimate Zibanejad jersey. She will not watch a game without it on.
Okay.
Wow.
And then he wears this Ranger sweatshirt that my nephew got for him, and they won't move from the chair. So she got up for a moment, and they scored the third goal, the Canes, and then Peter started yelling, you got to sit back. They're lunatics.
Oh, they've really gone in.
They've gone over the top about the Rangers.
Good for them. Enjoy it.
And they keep saying, Debbie keeps saying, well, is it possible? Can you get me a ticket? I said, no, I can't. I can't get you a ticket.
Yeah, it's
impossible.
It's crazy what's happening now. Even back to 14, Michael. Remember the run in 14. There was all those viral videos and pictures of Rothenberg and Ryan Ruocco in the suite. Remember that?
Yep.
Now forget it. We're barely into the second round. Just can't get in. It's crazy. I was talking to Larry Brooks when we were in Washington. He thought that the 2015 team that won the President's Trophy and went to the conference final, lost to Tampa, was a better team than this team. I disagree. I think this team is better. They're better offensively. Now, do they have as good a goaltender as Henrik Lundqvist? I guess time will tell, so I'm not going to go there. But they're deep on the blue line. I think they're exceptionally well coached. Peter Laviolette, it's so underrated. I'm shocked he's not a candidate for the Jack Adams Trophy, which I get a vote for, and I voted. He was one of my 3 candidates, but he's not a finalist for the Jack Adams. But they're just, I don't know whether it's the vibe with the Knicks or what's going on here, but it seems bigger. It really does. The Knicks, too. I mean, listen, the Knicks are never really this far, but we've seen them in the second round. I remember in 2013, Michael, we were on the air together, and it was a big deal. They won the 54 games, and they went up against the Pacers. This feels way different. This feels way bigger to me because I think that because of what the Knicks did last year, getting to the second round, and the Knicks going to the conference final a couple of years ago, I think people are really starting to believe that this might not just be a quote-unquote run. A run suggests it kind of comes out of nowhere and was unexpected. I think there's enough belief here with these two teams, maybe not to win a championship for the Knicks, but to definitely get to the next round, and a championship for the Rangers where the fans really believe this isn't some sort of a run. This is kind of expected, and we're going to have a ball here this spring, really. And if both these teams get to the conference final, Michael, it is going to be unreal here in New York.
Let's go to Chris in Piscataway. Chris.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about the Rangers, and to Don's point, Peter Laviolette, I don't think he gets enough credit. Just looking at the difference between him and Gallant from last year, Steve Alliquette put it last week that they have an elite coaching staff, and not only that, bringing in Michael Pekka to help them with the faceoffs, I think was a genius move as well. And of course, Benoit Allaire is the goalie whisperer, so he's really got this team. The systems that they play, the aggressiveness they show on the PK, all of that. It's almost like Gallant was a read and react, and Laviolette is more of a here's what we're going to do. This is the systems we're going to play, and you need to adhere to this. And I really think it's showing through in this playoff run here.
It's a system. It's aggressive, which you got to love. And to a man, Michael, the feeling was. To a man. In the exit interviews after last year's loss to the Devils, the players said, we want to be coached. So what that suggests is not that Gerard Gallant wasn't a good coach. I mean, he took the Vegas Golden Knights, an expansion team, to the Stanley Cup final. But it just seemed like read and react is the great way to put it. It's just that we're going to just take it as it comes. There is a system. There's a plan. Everybody knows what the plan is. They execute it to a T. He is just an outstanding coach. And a reason I guess he didn't get a lot of love is because, again, this Devil team was a playoff team. This Ranger team was a playoff team last year with 107 points. Went to 114, so it didn't look like there was a gargantuan jump as far as the stats were concerned. But you just see it's just a different feel, and how he's got what he's gotten out of Alexei Lafreniere, what he would have probably gotten out of Kakko had he not gotten hurt. The younger players have all stepped up, and that to me is a great indication of a coach. Is not just the team responding, but Gerard Gallant just didn't get enough out of the younger players. They were stagnant, and now they've come to life. It's no coincidence that these guys have all had career years under his tutelage. And just take a look at his resume. Look what he did with the Islanders. Look what he did in Carolina and Philadelphia and Nashville. Success in all those places, and so far success here.
Let's go to Bobby and Netcom.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Bobby.
Huge fan, obviously.
Thanks.
So I wanted to talk about Matt Rempe. Obviously, he's made a huge impact, but it seems like the guy can't get on the ice because he does not get the benefit of the calls. He just keeps getting penalties. The one yesterday, it was like there's nothing he could really do. He was crashing a crease, but he just got pushed in there. I just wanted to see what Don, how he feels they should proceed with him, especially with Hedl in the wings.
Well, I've been told a bunch of times, and I've said it here on this show, it's going to take something really negative to get Hedl back into the lineup, meaning an injury or you fall behind in the series and you're looking to make a change. But it does feel like, barring injury, the guy that Hedl would replace is Rempe. Now, not even for because Hedl's not a fourth-line player, but a forward's going to have to come out for Hedl to come in. The problem with Rempe, guys, and I thought it was a tough call, goaltender interference. The guy's gargantuan. He shouldn't be pushed into the crease the way he is. There's got to be a little bit more responsibility there. But you're talking about a player that's playing 7-8 minutes. He's not on the ice late in the game. At some point, he's taken penalties in 4 of the first 5 playoff games. At some point, you're going to want to try to get a little bit more out of that position. So I don't think he's going to make a change, guys, as long as they continue to win. But, you know, the next loss or the next little bit of adversity, I would not be surprised if there's a change. He was skating with the extras today. I think that was just because he didn't get a ton of ice time in the last couple of games, so I'm not going to read too much into that. But if Philip Hedl's going to come in, I would think it probably is going to come at the expense of Rempe, especially in this series where it's not like Carolina's got a bunch of tough guys you've got to worry about. So there is that possibility down the road.
Let me give you a quick pinstripe report brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. Yankees swept the Tigers over the weekend. The Tigers have really good pitching and a serviceable bullpen, but they can't hit. So I don't know if they're going to go out and try to make a move because their offense is – Javi Baez can't play anymore. It's so sad. This guy was – even when he was at the Mets playing second base, he was a good player. But he can't hit anymore. Breaking ball away, he just waves at it. And then Spencer Torkelson had 31 home runs last year. He has 0. He has 0 this year. So if those two guys aren't going to hit, unless they make this big dynamic move. Now, Riley Green, former first-round draft pick, has really played well. He has a top WAR in the American League. But Yankees took care of business. They got great pitching. Again, Nestor Cortez was amazing. Their bullpen has been absolutely amazing. But when you're going to talk about the Yankees right now, I'm sorry. I mean, I saw almost every single one of Judge's 62 home runs in his MVP season, and he is a very special player. Juan Soto is a different cat, man. It's a different sort of player. Juan Soto is just excelling on the stage. His impending free agency doesn't seem like it bothers him, and really, why should it? If you think about it, once he turned down $440 million from the Nationals, every year was like the pressure to get to the finish line. He has embraced this. He's embraced the crowd. He came up in the bottom of the 7th inning yesterday, bases loaded, against a tough left-hander, Andrew Chafin, and he just puts great bats together, and he hit a double into the corner, scored 3 runs. His batting average with runners in scoring position is exorbitantly high, And his batting average with runners in scoring position against lefties is also incredibly high. This guy is second in the American League to Sal Perez in terms of RBIs. He does everything great. And, sometimes you see him styling out of the box, right? Well, in 25 at-bats with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .440 with 22 runs batted in and an OPS of 1.380. So, he plays hard. Every ground ball, he runs down to first base like his hair is on fire. So he's not one of those guys who lopes to first base. He does look at home runs, and he almost got burned in Baltimore when the ball banged off the wall. He got a triple. But, boy, is he good. Don, I don't know how much you get a chance to watch him.
Oh, yeah.
He is something special.
He's terrific. And this is going to sound crazy because it's the New York Yankees. He might price himself out of here. What if he has just an absolute monster year? Could you see teams or a team going north of 50 a year?
Oh, the Mets will.
And
because the Mets, they might not have a good year this year, and so that puts more pressure to get him.
And I just, and if these numbers, and because then he's gonna check a lot of boxes, right? Like he can handle New York and all that. And again, I think he probably wants to be a Yankee, but he's got Boris as his agent, so he's going to want to get top dollar.
Don, I got to tell you something. I believe that wherever he signs, he's going to get over 50 a year.
And I just wonder, would the Yankees go there with Judge's contract, still Stanton left on his contract, Cole, how much he's making a year, and again, those are all bargains the way those guys can play. Not Stanton, but clearly Cole and Judge. But at some point, you're going to. We've seen it. The Yankees have a budget. They have a limit. And will they go there? Now, you could say, well, they made the trade. They had to know there was the possibility it could explode. So they must think there's at least a chance that they could re-sign him. But if he has the kind of year I'm thinking he's going to have, Michael, it might actually go to a stratosphere the Yankees aren't willing to go.
It's going to be a fascinating offseason. It really will be. And I look at social media after the game. Give him a blank check. Stop being a jerk. A blank check. So, what if the Yankees and Steve Cohen give him a blank check? How high does it go? $100 million a year? Nobody gets blank checks. Nobody gets blank checks.
I know you hate the phrase "good problem," but the funny thing is, it is a good problem you're hoping for.
That he has a great year.
That the year is so great that he costs you worry you have to pay him $60 million.
It is a good problem, but if what Don says is true, and the Yankees have always been, they spend a lot of money, but they also do draw lines in the sand. Like if Cohen goes to $60 million a year, would the Steinbrenner family be willing to do that? I don't know.
I've always said the worst case scenario for Yankee fans, if the Mets have a really disappointing year, and they're going to want to make up for it to their fans that what's happened would then be 2 straight years of disappointments. That Cohen just decides to write the check and says, "Be damned, I'll give him $60 million a year. I don't care." And if that happens, the Yankees are not going to go that high. Look what they did with Judge. Then this is a guy that you benefited from for years. You made the judges' chambers. They still negotiated. They didn't give a blank check. So you think after 1 year they're going to give Soto a blank check?
Yeah, nobody gets a blank check.
Nobody gets a no. But that's where Cohen could make a huge difference. Just laying in the weeds there, playing responsible, not going crazy, and then all of a sudden he pounces
and then blow it in the right spot. Now, here's the thing, though, Michael. Is Judge cool enough and understanding enough that he would be able to handle Soto getting more?
I believe he is.
It would be worth it to him.
Well, moving forward, Peter, this is the second year of his contract.
So right? He knows he's never going to be the top one again.
So he's got 7 more years. The way the game is trending, people are going to make more than $40 million a year. He's got to accept that. So does he want to win a championship? Well, then you want a 25-year-old Juan Soto along the ride with you.
Right. It's going to be someone. Might as well be him.
Well, that's the Pinstripe Report brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. Peter, tell us about Bath Flipper.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was a small child.
I wanted to be a celebrity, like by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for a 2-peat. I don't really care about any other place.
My dad is a gamer.
My dad.
My brother. My grandmother.
My dad's a big gamer, still is. People will either like me or they will hate me, and I think that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
The melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Imagine a future where plastic is not wasted, but instead remade over and over into the things that keep our food fresher, our families safer, and our planet cleaner. To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Step into the world of Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. Score rewards by playing your favorite games and get your winnings almost instantly with lightning-fast withdrawals. Go! So what are you waiting for? Have a great time in your downtime. Download the Golden Nugget Online Casino app and get started today with this great offer.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Here for the Michael Kay Show, the Yankees breaking out the brooms for the second time this season is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. After their 9th inning comeback win on Friday, the Yanks were able to pull off a sweep of the Tigers yesterday. Oswaldo Cabrera gave them a 2-zip lead in the second after the Tigers came back themselves and tied this one up at 2 in their half of the 7th. Juan Soto continued his hot start with runners in scoring position, smacking a bases-clearing double into right in the bottom of the inning. The game would be called after a mere hour-long rain delay. Now, we mentioned the hot start with runners in scoring position for Soto. Well, here are the numbers to back it up. He's come up 32 times so far with ducks on the pond, and he's hitting .440 with a .500 on base, and it's slugging close to .1400. He will look to continue that start tomorrow when the Yankees welcome in the Astros to wrap up this homestand and also the season series with Houston for 2024. After a well-deserved off day tomorrow, bringing to a close 17 games in 17 days, the Yankees do indeed wrap up their season series with the Astros Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow night, Luis Gil and Justin Verlander tow it up, and our coverage commences with the batting practice show at 6, followed by the pregame, and first pitch comes your way a little after 7. It's the Yankees and the Astros, coverage starting at 6 tomorrow right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
All right, it's time for a quick Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Tomorrow the Yankees start a 3-game set against the Astros. It'll be Verlander against Luis Heel. The Astros are in trouble of not making the playoffs. Yeah. If you look at the bad start that they've had, it's kind of unbelievable. Another free agent to be, Alex Bregman, is having a really bad season. And he's a really good player, but so far, not good. And they've had so many injuries to their pitchers. Stephen Kwan, who's been a big part of the Guardians' great start, is missing 4 weeks now with a hamstring injury, and the Mets start a series against the Cardinals. Cardinals are bad, so maybe the Mets could get right. That's a series in St. Louis. Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. All right, we got the Knicks and the Pacers tonight, game 1. Let's go back to the phones. Mikey Locks in New Jersey. Mikey.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
How you fellas doing?
Good.
So today I got a lock of the day. It's a big one.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
I'm putting over 15.5 points on DiVincenzo. Let's get it in. Lock it in.
That's why you have that last name of Mikey Locks. So why do you think DiVincenzo is going to go off?
Well, he's shooting the ball very well last game, and I feel like it's going to bleed into tonight. Big thing is to actually get him some set plays and some wheel plays tonight, and I expect that fully from them. Also, I think everybody that thinks that the Pacers are going to be some slouches in this series are gravely mistaken. We have to take these guys serious.
Oh, they will. The fans might, but I think the Knicks will.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
I wouldn't worry about that part either. But I think you're right. If you're speaking for fans, you're right. You guys should not go into this series, given the history of this team and how long it's been since you went to a conference final. The idea of taking this series for granted is nutso. This is a team that was very good during this regular season. No reason to think they won't be competitive. But I don't think there's a chance the Knicks are taking them lightly.
Now, Brunson has said if you need extra motivation, then you're in the wrong business. But I wonder, playing Carlisle, who didn't give him any light at all with the Mavericks. I mean, the last playoff series that Carlisle coached for the Mavericks, and Brunson was on the team, he paid him 10 minutes in an elimination game. Do you think that motivates him inward? Well, he's not going to admit it. He doesn't need bulletin board fodder. But do you think he wants to just destroy Carlisle's team?
Of course he will. I think both could be true, that you're not going to use it as motivation, but you're still going to relish the opportunity to do it to him. Like, that was the whole Greg Buttle thing. If you need bulletin board fodder, you're not prepared, something's wrong with you. I think that's probably the tact he's taking, but you're not going to take pride in sticking it to him?
I would think so.
I mean, that's just human nature.
Let's go to Dennis in Huntington. Dennis.
Hey, guys. I wanted to talk about, before I get to Peter being the biggest fraud in the radio, I want to talk about the Yankees.
I kind of don't care about your first point.
Lineups.
Okay.
Well, no one cares about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so why is Boone, what is going on with this lineup? I know they just swept the Tigers, but if you look at how they played the Orioles, it was pretty bad offense. I think they should put Soto first, and then Judge, and then Verdugo, and then either Stanton or...
Why would you want Soto
Volpe
in 25% of his at-bats? You're guaranteeing that he comes up with nobody on base.
First, why? So then why not put I think just Soto and Judge have to be flip-flopped. I know the whole lefty-righty thing, but Boone's really into that. But I think Judge should be hitting in front of Soto.
Well, I thought that way, too, because I think Judge would see better pitches. But so far, it's worked out fine. They're 10 games over 500. And, Volpe has not been hitting.
Orioles.
Excuse me?
they can't beat the Orioles, and now
Well, they
Houston's not
lost
looking
3
good.
or
It
4.
looks like the Orioles
What do you mean
are
they
their own
can't
thing.
beat them? What does that mean? They beat them once out of 4 times. They've got 9 games remaining. What do you mean they can't beat them? Each game was close.
They just don't look good against them. Their pitching is too good.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a little secret, Dennis. The Orioles are damn good. It's not like you lost to a bad team like, I don't know, the Marlins. The Orioles are great. They're going to be trouble.
They're going to be great. They're going to be great for a few years now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So my second point was, Peter, you seem like a fraud a bit.
Go ahead.
You said you didn't like Dana White's comments, and you said you don't like to show your hand, your political hand. And I don't follow you on social media or anything, so I'm assuming you're an independent. But every time someone says something slightly against anything, Democrat, you go berserk.
Well, I don't think
you up on every little thing that
You're
you
funny.
say
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
funny.
Wait, hold on. Let me respond, Don, before you.
Yeah,
You almost sent Don over the edge there.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I said Dana White was bad last night because he was objectively bad. Like, his delivery was bad.
He only had 60 seconds.
No, I understand. I mean, and I get he's not a comedian, but you didn't think it was a very good 60 seconds. He just wasn't very good. It felt uncomfortable. And the reason I thought he was bad was he decided to use that moment to kind of poke and prod and complain about wokeness on a night when all rules and conventions of, quote, wokeness were out the window. Everybody was already saying anything they wanted to say. Why did he feel the need to make it a thing? He made sort of bad jokes and then blamed the crowd for not laughing when the crowd had been laughing at objectively offensive things all night long. I thought it was weak. I just thought it was weak.
I guess everything that anyone says that's anti-Democrat is weak to you.
But he didn't.
That wasn't anti-Democrat, Dennis. You calling with an agenda. It wasn't anti-Democrat.
He didn't make any Republican talking points.
He what?
He did say something explicitive, liberals.
Yeah, but it was still it wasn't really a political statement as much as it was an anti-wokeness statement. Oh, you sensitive liberals. My point is, can't you understand my point that was a little bit weak on a night when everybody was being free-flowing about the jokes they were making? It was just an unnecessary, not particularly funny thing to say. And it mixed in a delivery that wasn't very good. That's all. It wasn't too deep. Now, why you called Don such names, I don't know. But anyways, thanks for the call.
That's all.
Do you know what that means?
I'm not really calling him names.
Well, what is that based on?
Do you know what that means?
And he agrees with everything you say, and even when it comes to the Would You Wednesday, everything.
Actually, but you called it out. You're right. I've been trying to hide it for a long time. I'd like to make an announcement if I can get the camera.
Please.
He figured it out. I've been trying to hide it for a long time, Peter.
Go ahead.
But clearly, the intelligence of that caller was able to root out the truth.
Which is?
I'm physically attracted to you, Peter, and I love you.
Wow.
And I deeply want you. Can we make that happen? I'm ready to leave my wife and my family for you, Peter. Are you willing to do the same? Yeah, because you could see, because he picked it up, because only somebody with that kind of intelligence could.
Right. Yeah, he was sharp.
He was able to scoop it up and realize that, because, your butt. Yum. I think a great man once said, yummy. Give me I'd like to take a bite out of that, Peter. So he figured it out.
Oh, boy.
And now you've confirmed it.
And now I've confirmed it. It's out there. So if Awful Announcing wants to run with it, if you want to have some sort of a... Jake, if you can get on that and put it on social media, that Don LaGreca is a...
Boy, would I like... Don, you just reminded me of the wedding scene in Tommy Boy when they're filming, everyone talking. He goes, boy, would I like to get me some of that. Yay! Hey, give me that camera.
That's a great scene. Well, I got to tell you, it's like a weight has been lifted. It's a secret I've kept deep in my heart for 9 years.
Yeah, you feel free. I feel left out. You feel free.
Well, no, I was going to, Michael, if it wasn't for Peter, my attractiveness shifted. It was all you,
for
buddy.
13
until
years,
Peter
you
came
never
along.
showed any kind of inclination toward me.
Because I was weak, Michael. I was scared.
And now
I was
here
fighting
you are.
it. You know what I was doing? I was fighting it. Not anymore. I'm free.
I'm going to have to think over these things and get back to you. Don.
Okay, let me know.
because there's a lot of people involved, Peter.
I'm not.
That's
listen, you know, 3 o'clock every day. I'm not going anywhere.
No, you'll be here. All right.
I mean, you got to consider Nancy and Natalie and the dogs and the cats
I don't
and
take
the
this.
kids.
We don't take these things lightly. But you know, the heart wants what the heart wants, Michael.
The heart
or in this case, the
wants-
butt wants what the butt wants.
Matt, Long Island City. Matty.
Well, I got to follow that guy. I mean,
that's tough. I know.
He was room temp IQ, as I'd like to say. I got to get back to. Oh, Don, you brought up anybody who was telling you before that throwing out the minor league game makes you a fraud. It is either a troll or just dumb. But it made me think of a potential fraud situation I'm facing, so I wanted to run it by you guys.
Okay.
That's okay. There's a non-zero chance because of connections through work that I could throw out the first pitch at a Mets game. But I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. I'll give my opinion, and then maybe we'll hang up and let you guys. But I would definitely do it. First of all, I don't really see the Mets as a rival to the Yankees. I'm kind of indifferent to them. If it was like the Red Sox, the Astros, I definitely wouldn't do it. But for the Mets, I mean, why not? You're throwing out the first pitch in a major league game. The other thing is, like, I just don't see myself as, like Dave, you always talk about, he thinks the Giants are going to show up at his funeral. I'm not one of these Yankees fans who thinks, like, Cal is going to show up at my funeral.
Right.
You know, they're not giving me anything. I'm showing my loyalty through the chicken buckets and the tall boys that I occasionally get. So if I get the chance to throw a first pitch at a Mets game, I'm going to take it. But let me know what you guys think.
I don't call you a fraud for that because I'll say that. You remember my story, Michael, when I saw C.J. Nikowski out in left field and I ran onto the field not realizing the rules because I'm a moron. Because there's something about being on a major league field. You know how rare an opportunity that is. To be able to do that, to be able to throw out the first pitch, what an honor that is. I mean, you're going to let your fandom get in the way of doing something that cool? Never mind the Patriots, being able to do it for a Yankee Stadium in front of potentially 50,000 people. Why would you pass up on that opportunity?
Well, Matt's saying it would be at Citi Field.
Well, but opposite. I'm just saying from my perspective. If I'm a Met fan, but no, if he's a Yankee fan, go to Citi Field. He doesn't consider the Mets a rival. I mean, you're not. Does that mean you're rooting for him? You're committed to him? That's almost like saying you wouldn't go to a Met game. Like, would you not go if the Mets were playing the Cardinals and you got a chance to go to the game because you love baseball? Does that make you a fraud to go?
Oh, it's a good question.
Does that mean that you're rooting for the team if you go out there and throw the first pitch?
Yeah, you're not co-signing on the team just because you throw a first pitch.
People throw first pitches all the time.
Matt, my big question is how great are the chicken buckets?
Oh, the chicken buckets are awesome. I mean, I've eaten so many. I have every bucket that I've eaten. I have stacked in the closet in my apartment. So
now, how many fingers are in the bucket?
I think it's 8 chicken fingers and then like a pound of French fries.
And how much does that go for?
I think it's like 25 last time I checked, which is actually not bad relative to other food. I think it's literally called the value bucket.
Right. Oh, the value,
which is why you're getting the most bang for your buck.
And for an extra $10, you get a defibrillator.
Is that?
Well, Matt, I think you should use your connections and throw out the first pitch.
Yeah,
I heard there's actually a package, Don, where it will come with an Ozempic needle.
How about Nikki Glazer's line on Jeff Ross? You put the ick in Ozempic.
She really was.
She owned it. She owned it. Her and I think Bill Belichick.
She was so good, man.
Yeah, she really was. She was on Stern today. She read some of the jokes she left out. They're pretty good too.
I have to imagine. I'm a big fan.
How could you not?
Hey, I talk for a living, just like Nikki. And
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Start with our point of sale. More than a system, it's the brain of your business. Train your staff in minutes and connect your POS to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder, okay?
Yes.
Be resilient. You're welcome. Oh, wow, look, you blew everything. We're going to come out looking like our pops.
What do you do wrong?
No, I ain't doing nothing wrong. know Trinidad, and I want to live.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Refinance now or refinance later? Here are 10 tips to make your home.
Needless to say, your money could be working so much harder.
Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Interest rates will remain at current levels.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Go behind the numbers with a brand new series on the Yes app.
17.
My first number in the big leagues.
1734.
Oh, Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Gracie Cashman hosts a new Yes app series, The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Watch the premiere with Aaron Boone, Thursday at 9 after the Yankees on the Yes Network.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
A summer celebration of soccer is coming to the Bronx. 4 teams, 2 days, 1 Yankee Stadium. World champions Man City open it up with a boogie down battle versus Italian giants Milan on Saturday, July 27th. Before New York City FC welcomes Mexican side Querétaro to the BX for an MLS vs. Liga MX showdown and Leagues Cup on Sunday, July 28th. It's the world's game, and it's the world city. Only in New York City.
Joe passed away December 26, 2021. They had found him unconscious. He had a heart attack at the firehouse. At Joe's wake, Assistant Chief Gallo had told me that Tunnel to Towers would be taking care of us. We found out that for July 4th that they'd be paying off our mortgage completely. I would suggest that if you've never heard of Tunnel to Towers, you should read about it. You definitely see where the money goes. I think that's the most important thing. You see where it's going. Please contribute $11 a month by going to t2t.org.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Camila tried the new scent of Gain Relax Flings, and it changed everything. Hey, Dave, don't knock it till you smell it. Try the luxurious new scent of Gain Relax Flings. Try new Gain Relax scent beads, too, for twice the vibes. the Knicks winning today, it goes such a long way to winning the series. It really does.
But it's only Monday, and it's only game one. By the sheer math of it, as I turn it back to math, it is the most meaningless of the 7 potential ones, right? I mean, nothing's not meaningless, but you know what I'm talking about is that each one elevates the importance. Now, they don't want to lose home court, but, clearly you can overcome one loss.
Not the first one, according to the Knicks history. Let's go to Danny
crazy.
In Long Island. Daniel.
Quite a show for the Greca there, right out of the box. I think we should do an impromptu marry, cuddle, trash with vomit on a canvas.
Okay.
Scratch it till it bleeds.
Oh, boy.
Stick your head in the fire.
Right.
Really solid trifecta there. Speaking of trifecta, Danny from Mystic would be a better idea at 17-1. My first phone call went to my mother, thanking me for making me $890 on the Kentucky Derby. How about that?
Apparently, Gordon nailed it on Saturday, too.
You must have been sweating that
My
photo.
father used to love going to the track, so I bet the Derby just out of sense of Americana. Obviously, since the horse is named Mystic Dan, I have to bet my horse's name. 17-1, wins by a nose, depending on how big your nose is. As I think that was the odd couple.
Good for you.
A nice pull. Had a very nice dinner that night with the missus. She was very happy. I gave her half the money. I said, "Here you go, baby. Half is yours." But listen, I like to wrap up on a happy note. I like to. I love minor league stadiums, Don. Whenever I take my kids on vacation, I've been to about 15 of them. Watched a great game of baseball in South Carolina last week. Two of my grandkids live down there. It was Thursday night, Knicks Game 6, NFL Draft. My son buys tickets to it. Single A minor league game. Do I pull a Rothenberg and start demanding that televisions are being wheeled into the bleachers? No. I go out there with my grandkids. First inning, guess who catches a fly ball?
Wow,
Grandpa.
I knocked the travel baseball team out of the way. Left-handed catch. Everyone goes crazy. I hand it to my grandson. He starts jumping up and down, 3 years old. He fires it back on the field. They have to call timeout. They have to run out, give it to me again. So I did the right thing by shutting my mouth and going to it. Great game. I paid $4 for a beer, $8 a ticket. Columbia Flyer flies. There's nothing better than minor league baseball. I'm sorry, and I love baseball. It's a great view.
Well, congratulations on the catch, and
that is
you
awesome.
Really got to teach the grandson not to do that. Let's go to Andrew in Queens.
Bad job.
Andy.
Hey, how we doing?
What's going on?
I'm glad that the in the wild got brought up because I remember the time, and I've a time for you, Michael, and actually, I on the whole, I thought of one for Don as well, too. Quickly, I'll do Don's quickly. Don, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm 23 years old. We're staying at the Hard Rock Hotel off the Strip. All my friends go to bed. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not, I'm still wired. I go down to the tables. I'm playing some blackjack. It's me, the dealer, and another guy sitting at a table. All of a sudden, a big pack of maybe about 6 or 7 guys walking around. This one guy sits down. He's wearing a cowboy hat. I turn my head to the right, and who's sitting 2 seats over but Lemmy from Motorhead.
Oh, wow, that's very cool.
It took everything in me to not be like, hoping Ace of Spades pops up or something like that. But he sat down for about 10 minutes, walked away, and I told all my friends the next morning, and none of them, they said, that's all BS, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so that's for you, Don. Michael, for you, this one actually involves you. I was at Citi Field with my girlfriend seeing the Zac Brown Band back in 2015, and we're standing in the pit area right by the stage, and as the lights go down, all of a sudden, some security guards walk, around us towards the left of the stage, and all of a sudden I see Paul O'Neill, and I go, holy crap, that's Paul O'Neill, and who's standing right next to Paul O'Neill is Mr. Michael K himself, and it's one of those things where, I knew who you were, knew Paul was there too, didn't want to say anything and just let you guys enjoy the show, but figured I had to at least mention that you have been spotted in the wild.
Well, if you ever spot me in the wild again, Andrew, please come over and say hello.
Do you remember that day?
I remember that concert, yeah. I remember that. I remember I got tickets to that concert, and I was standing there, and Jeff Wilpon looked at me like I was an alien. How did you get down here? I got tickets. That's how I got down here. I don't think Jeff was the biggest fan of me.
That's all right. Right back at him, right, Michael?
No, I didn't mind Jeff.
Even after that?
You know what? Listen, I don't hate people. I just don't forget.
Yeah, said your laminated list.
Well, I just don't forget.
To hate people.
You know, he'll never forget the hatred that he had.
There's no bigger ENN
ever.
Oh, you kidding
than
me?
after a Brady roast, a Kendrick Drake diss track war, and Don winning, point guard.
And admitting on the air that I'm in love with him. I want your butt.
Now, I heard, I have not been able to confirm this, but there was a phrase you kept using in that was dumped continuously on Yes.
On Yes.
That's what I heard.
You know, that's, I apologize to the viewers because they missed a lot. What was it? I don't think I was out of line, Peter. Oh, look who I'm asking.
Well, I mean, if you think about the true definition of BB, which is what you kept saying, it is kind of out of line.
But the caller said it how many times? I can't say it?
I don't think anybody wanted to say it.
And the funny thing, he says he calls me that, and then he's on hold and he's on the air for like 5 minutes.
Well, because Peter was talking with him.
If he didn't answer hello in 5 seconds, he gets cut off. He throws the BB out there 15 times. He's on hold. He talks for 15 minutes.
See, that's not fair because I thought that Peter would get angry because he was having a conversation with him.
Yeah, I did want to let it go on so I could see how stupid he was. And by the way, it played out.
Yeah,
right.
it played out very well.
It worked out.
Well, listen, I apologize to anybody that was offended. I am really sorry.
Well, they didn't hear it. Don't even worry about it.
But our radio audience heard it. No.
Yeah, I did hear it.
Good.
My friend Kyrie, who used to work with us at the station, actually wrote and said his child asked him, "What is a BB?"
No.
Well, see, that's what you do, Don.
But no, blame the caller. He brought it up.
All right, Dennis, it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah, live with that, Dennis.
That and the filth, because you don't know how to bathe.
ENN coming up in just a moment right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
I'm Anya's indecision. I thought we were good. Like, with home projects, I used to make sure she got so twisted around, she wasn't even sure where to start. But Thumbtack changed her. With all the plans and guides and reminders, Anya's getting stuff done. And I'm getting ghosted.
Indecision doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack. Download the app today.
Away makes luggage and bags that make packing, compressing, cinching, zipping, sliding, and going easier than ever. Away.
My problem? Like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Step into the world of Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. Score rewards by playing your favorite games and get your winnings almost instantly with lightning-fast withdrawals. Go! So what are you waiting for? Have a great time in your downtime. Download the Golden Nugget Online Casino app and get started today with this great offer.
It's one fantastic ride. The turbocharged, tech-inspired Kia Forte.
Best 2 out of 3?
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Al, did you make that call?
Honey, we already have Medicare. Why do I need to call?
Alan, the Feldman said we may be able to get additional benefits with a Medicare Advantage plan right here in our zip code.
Honey, what do you mean additional benefits? We turned 65, we got Medicare. That's all there is to it, right?
I'm talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. We have traditional Medicare, which is only Medicare Parts A and B, but not Part C.
Wait. So not everyone on Medicare is a Part C plan?
No, that's why we need to call, because there may be plans available with additional benefits.
What kind of extra benefits?
If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call 800-820-7593 now to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Give them your zip code and see if there's a Part C plan with additional benefits available to you in your area that may better fit your needs. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with additional benefits available. Medicare plans and benefits can change each and every year. If you're on Medicare, you can call now even if you called last year. If you feel like your original Medicare plan isn't giving you everything you need, call to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. We will check to see if there is a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits. You don't get a plan with additional benefits automatically, so call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Remember, you don't get Medicare Part C plan benefits automatically. Call now for your free 2024 no-obligation Medicare benefits review. If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call 800-820-7593 now. Call 800-820-7593. 800-820-7593.
Sarah, you've got this. Okay? But they lost.
Not really. Not where it counts.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to ENN.
On TV.
Ray Rowe. ENN today, it's brought to you by our dear friends over at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalesian.
Come get some.
Yeah.
I'd like to start tonight's big ENN by, if I can, saying good evening to my friend Michael.
Rick took his shirt off. He ripped his shirt off when they won.
Oh, I saw it. Sure I did.
Yummy.
Good evening to Don.
Scratch till it bleeds.
Good evening to Don.
If a Met fan has a problem with it, stick your head in the fire.
And to Don.
I'm physically attracted to you, Peter, and I love you.
And to Don.
I'm ready to leave my wife and my family for you, Peter.
And to Don.
I want your butt. Boy. I apologize to Greek. I haven't heard back yet. I didn't know I crossed the line. I really didn't. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I need to be better.
Listen, other people have said crazier this week. For example, listen to Bill Belichick last night on Netflix talking about Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe.
It's great seeing you again. This is a big night. The fans want you. Everyone wants you. But it's not your night. Sorry, Drew. Brady.
Yeah, Coach.
You're in. Let's go.
Let's go. Are you kidding me? Again?
I thought Bledsoe came off great.
He did. He really did come off as a great sport. Here's Ron Burgundy, who showed up taking a shot at Tom Brady.
But you won't be forgotten. You'll always be remembered as Eli Manning's big.
That rhymes with itch, is what he said.
Sure. He was, Ron Burgundy was.
And then he had the whole audience say it.
He did, on the count of three. Made him say it. Something else. I don't know if you guys know, but tonight, it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Standard
What's happening?
Time. Well, a basketball game is being played. It's being played in the Garden of Madison, which, by the way, just slightly funny way to start. Ron Burgundy coming out and repeatedly saying that he was at Madison Square Garden and talking about his flight landing at LaGuardia and how great the Knicks are playing. I mean, he just kept going with that he was in New York, and it was at the Forum in Los Angeles. It was fantastic. Anyways, the New York Knickerbockers are playing a game tonight. That's right, a second-round playoff game against the Indiana Pacers. That's right. I mean, just think about the history between these teams. When you picture that nasty yellow, blue jersey with Pacers across the front with the white stripe, Michael, what player do you think of first?
I think of two. I think of Reggie Miller.
And Jamal Tinsley.
And Rick Smits.
You think Rick Smits?
Yeah.
Detlef Schrempf comes to mind, too. He bounced around, though. He was a Pacer, wasn't he? I know he was a
Antonio
Sonic.
Davis. I think of Antonio Davis.
Antonio Davis. Well, what about Dale Davis?
A little bit, but not a lot.
No Tinsley? No Jalen Rose?
No, I think Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Kidding me? Well, tonight, an old reunion between foes of yesteryear. Jalen Brunson, he has a reunion as well with Rick Carlisle. Jalen, any extra motivation going up against Rick Carlisle?
In all honesty, I said this last time. You're in the playoffs now. There is no extra motivation. It is what it is. The past is the past. Rick gave me he welcomed me into this league and helped me become the player and helped me grow from day one. So coaches got to make decisions that better suit their team. So whatever happened, and we're moving forward from there.
I actually believe Jalen Brunson. I got to tell you guys, I love every word that comes out of that man's mouth.
Really?
I do. I think Jalen Brunson, in addition to maybe being at this moment in time the number one, guys, if you did a power ranking based day to day, right, and every day you updated the power ranking, he is the number one athlete in New York at this moment. Number one.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Day to day, how could he not be? Unless he comes out, we'll see what he does tonight. But, Don, you agree, right? If you're rating it as of right this second.
Where's Soto fall for you?
It's just not a thing yet, Michael. These are the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's unless he's going 4 for 4 every day with 2 doubles and 2 home runs, it's not going to beat 40 points tonight in the playoffs.
Now, listen, we're on the Yes Network. I'm sure there's diehard Yankee fans that don't care about basketball that are listening going, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Since 1938.
But to be fair, it's May. It's first week of May, and we're talking about the second round of the playoffs and a guy that's pouring in 40 a night. I come on, it's hard. It's really hard, I think, for baseball to gain traction when in the general sports terms of things.
Yeah, but he said on day to day that's what is a sticking point because.
Well, what did Soto do yesterday?
Soto got a bases loaded double that won the game for the Yankees.
That's good.
So yesterday he's the guy because Jalen Brunson didn't play.
Yeah, you're taking my
but
literal.
Once you said day to day,
you're taking my literal and you're going even more literal. But I hear what you're saying. So, sorry, I was going to say.
He just took the fun. Move on to something else. He's just killed it.
He just killed it dead.
Yeah, it's twitching now on the floor.
Now, not only is Jalen Brunson, I think, the best athlete day to day in the city right now, but in terms of the way he conducts himself, I don't know if there's anyone better. I just love the way the guy carries himself.
Well, how about Brad?
Who?
How about Zibanejad?
It's just wait, Peter. I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick on, but I have to say because the audience is thinking it. Please forgive me. I still love you.
What?
You're like the perfect example of why Brunson might be the biggest guy in New York right now. Because what did Soto do yesterday? He had a monster day. And Michael goes bread, and you go.
I'm sorry. I thought he said bread.
No,
bread. Panarin.
Well, did people just? They don't even call him bread man. They take off the man and just call him bread.
Yeah, they do. You know, they
wear bread on their heads.
And the Yankees.
Well, listen. I got to say.
In the Yankee clubhouse, they're calling him bready.
Yeah, exactly. The whole bread thing doesn't work. It doesn't work for me.
All right. So well, I'm just not picking it. But it was just fine.
It doesn't work. It's a tremendous nickname.
It is a great nickname.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
Oh, but most nicknames are brilliant.
Right. Well, his name's not even Panera, though. His name's Panera. I know,
but it's not
now
stupid.
Who's being Mr. Literal Man?
I listen. I don't know. Listen, if he likes it, that's all that matters, right? Is he into it? As long as he's happy with it.
But right now, the guy, because of Zibanejad's game, and I'm seeing footage that apparently Hartenstein came to the Garden wearing the Stadium Series Zibanejad jersey.
That's right.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm saying it's Zibanejad seems to be the man today. But no, I just don't mean to pick on you. But that was kind of. But it's actually cementing your point that you are the average man, and that Brunson is the guy.
Well, and by the way, I watched the Rangers game yesterday.
No,
I didn't come away going the bread man's better than Jalen Brunson right now.
First of all, who are you to say bread man? It's bread.
I used to. Anthony, does anyone say bread man?
They say both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do they say more, Anthony?
I've heard Brett a lot more than Breadman recently.
Thank you very
No, recently. What about overall? If you look at the whole big picture since we've been talking bread.
Well, are we talking like instantaneously the day of, or are we talking over the long?
Like since he became a New York Ranger, what have you heard more? Breadman
It started
or
as
bread?
Breadman. It has gone to bread.
He's gone to bread. And I think a lot of Ranger fans are screaming at the TV and the radio saying, get Artemi Panarin's name out of your mouth.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
Yeah, they want to Will Smith
well,
you.
You know what? If they want to show respect for Artemi Panarin, start referring to him as the best thing at Panera and start calling him broccoli and cheese soup. That's what you should call it. It's the best point I've ever made, Don. It's the best thing on the menu, and respect it, okay? Now, let's go back to Jalen Brunson for a moment. Here's Jalen Brunson talking about his relationship with a very important player in this series, the great Tyrese Halliburton.
Great player. Didn't really know him until I knew of him. We met a couple of times, but we didn't really become friends until last summer. Great guy, great family. Yeah, he became one of my friends, obviously, through the experience last summer. And I have all the respect in the world for him and the way he plays the game. And he just goes out there, plays the right way, and does what he has to do.
Now, OG Anunoby was asked about what the atmosphere at MSG has been like so far in the playoffs.
Oh, it's amazing. It's nothing like it. It's electric, amazing fans, amazing support. It's crazy. All of us, we feel it and we love it.
Game 1 tonight, 7:30. Coverage begins right here at 7 o'clock. Now, we'll stay with this game and some interesting conversations that happened on Barton Hahn. He had a couple of great guests to talk about this.
Big name guests.
Huge. That's right.
Kind that we don't get.
Wait a minute.
You might
what are you
say that.
suggesting?
No,
We had John
Anthony
Starks
knows what I'm
on.
talking about.
Yeah, we had John Starks. Didn't have a great...
Now, who did they have on?
They had Jamal Crawford and Patrick Ewing.
Who was the last name again?
Ewing.
One of the top 50 players of all time.
But John Starks isn't nobody.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it was nobody.
His phone line could have been better, but that's neither here nor there.
That's not his fault.
It is his fault.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's a phone
You used to blame Landline Collins.
Well, you know what? We found out later, Michael, he was hanging out with Landon Collins. They were driving to Philly together. Here's Ewing, asked by Barton Hahn, what do you like about these New York Knicks?
With the Knicks, I just love their toughness. They're mentally and physically tough. They have a great player in Brunson. His supporting cast is solid. They're gonna do everything that they need to do to come away with a win. It might be ugly, but that's what you got to do to be able to come away with a win.
And specifically...
By the way, since losing the job at Georgetown, he looks terrific.
You think it was like being president? It was taking years off his life?
I don't know. He lost a lot of weight. He looked really good when he was at the last Knick game.
Now, Jamal Crawford was asked if he's buying into all the Jalen Brunson hype.
1,000%. But you have to look at how he was brought up. I actually used to shoot hoops with him when he was like 7 or 8 years old because Rick Brunson was my vet in Chicago. So he would bring it to the gym from time to time and we'd shoot. And just watching his development from afar, talking to Rick about what he was doing at certain grades with Jalen and Jalen's own interest in how he plays. So I always feel like I don't care what kind of house you have. I don't care if it's an apartment, a mansion, whatever it is, it has to have a solid foundation. So I always go backwards first and then I work my way up. And with him, his foundation is so rock solid. Always been a winner. Always cared about his teammates. Always did the things he's doing now. It's just the world's watching. He's always been this guy. Like he's always, treated people right. He's always took care of himself. He always was a professional, even at a young age. He's always been a winner. How can you be a winner if you don't have winning qualities or have winning people around you? He sets the culture. And Jalen's going to be the guy who in the future people want to come play with because he's a winner the way he plays. He brings everybody into the game. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I can go dominate it as well.
I'm going to tell you something, Peter. I don't know if you'd agree with me.
All right.
If Jamal Crawford was a bigger NBA star, he was a nice player, but if he was a big NBA star, he'd be the most valuable broadcaster in the game.
And that's a shame, isn't it?
You're saying that based on that specific clip?
No, I've heard him before on the air. He's outstanding.
But I think that's a shame. That because he wasn't famous.
Maybe he hasn't pursued it that hard.
Well, he's on TNT.
No, I know, but maybe it's not something he's obsessed with growing in. Like he just likes doing it the way he does it.
Because I agree with you, Mike.
Because you could say J.J. Redick is about that level, right? And as a player, and he's become a star. He's on the top team.
Yeah, but J.J. Redick went to Duke.
Perk too.
Who?
Perk. Yeah, Perk's on a similar level.
So, star is going to star. But it stinks that you have to work. I guess that's just life, right? That if he had played at a Hall of Fame level, he would get more opportunities. But that doesn't mean that the Hall of Famers are always that great, unless they're Steve Young.
Now that's a Hall of Famer, a worthy Hall of Famer. I'll tell you one thing: if you didn't see the roast of Tom Brady yesterday, though, I believe that Rob Gronkowski should no longer be allowed to talk publicly. He should have. He lost his talking privileges, in my opinion.
That's strong.
I don't get him either.
Don said something today to one of our listeners when he suggested that he not go to a minor league game, and I would say the same thing back to Rob Gronkowski.
Stick your head in the fire.
It was tough.
He is the epitome of the dumb jock, right? And he embraces it.
But I wonder if he's really dumb.
I don't think he's even really that dumb. I just think, like...
It's working for him.
It's working for him, and everyone loves the big Ophi tight end guy. It's a gimmick that's good, but when he was telling these jokes, these dirty jokes, where all he could sort of do was emphasize saying the dirty words as loud as he could, from a humor standpoint, Michael, it was about as bad as you could get. Like that's when I thought laughs were being piped in. I was like, who's laughing at this?
No, I think they were laughing at how bad it was.
Maybe.
But they weren't laughing at how bad Ben Affleck was.
It was really that bad, Michael?
Oh, you gotta watch it. Just
Anthony, could you
fast forward to it?
It's late, but if you see any clips moving around that we could play, I'd love to hear how bad it was.
And also, if you looked at X during that time, people are all over him for what they said was bad plastic surgery. He didn't even look like Ben Affleck.
I got to tell you, when I go to a comedy club and there's opening comedians, I pray that they don't bomb. There's nothing more uncomfortable. I know some people like it and they heckle.
Some people go with that purpose, like they dig it.
I don't. I feel uncomfortable for them. I feel bad for them. I just don't. I don't want that to happen. Why? You're okay with that?
No, it was uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't feel sorry for him. He's Ben Affleck. I feel sorry for an up and coming comic that bombs. You know who was great too, Peter?
Huh.
Sam J.
Sam J was good.
Wow, really good.
Some of the new comedians, when I saw them, I thought were incredibly random. But that's always, I guess, what the roasts have been like. That they have sort of random comedians there. If I'm going to nitpick what I thought was an overall really entertaining show. And by the way, Netflix was, this is one of their first live events. I didn't have any sort of technical issues.
No, nothing.
Worked really smoothly. The problem with roasts is when they run them on Comedy Central, they cut them down a lot. It was very, very bulky. It was a really, really long show.
I appreciated the bulk.
But you enjoyed every minute.
I enjoyed I could sit and watch 48 hours straight of roast.
Really? Isn't that telling, though, Don, about who this man is? Like, for whatever it says about him. I don't know what it says, but it says something, doesn't it?
Well, but you're taking it the wrong way. I could watch 24 straight 1 hour comedy specials. I love to laugh.
Yeah, comedy's good. But roasts, those old roasts, the Dean Martin ones are hilarious because it was a different time, and it just is something about comedians that just don't feel like they have any restrictions, and to be able to play along, like it sounds hurtful, but it's not hurtful, and everybody's playing along and laughing, and some really funny jokes.
I mean, when Kevin Hart early on started making jokes about Giselle and the karate instructor, Don. And she goes, and Kevin just starts laughing. He says, Tom, she had 9 lessons a day. And she's still a white belt. It was tough. At first I was really, now unless Brady was faking it and he's just a really good actor, because Michael, as you pointed out, it was his event essentially. So obviously he's on board with everything that's happening. But I was still impressed with how far people went on those topics.
And, growing up, that's what we used to do on the playground, have fun with each other, and there's just something like you feel like you're on the inside of it, and it's real.
Is it just a Bronx thing, Don, or do they call it ranking in Jersey? Like rank on somebody?
Oh, yeah. No, that carried to Jersey, yeah.
I never heard that.
Really? Didn't go to Chevy
Maryland?
Chase?
No, we didn't get rank in Maryland. But I will say, we're talking about the playground. Nothing hurts someone more on the playground than making fun of their divorce and how their ex-wife subsequently left with the karate instructor. I'll tell you what, that'll take an 8-year-old out right at the knees.
One of the funny underrated, she said it so quick, at the end of Nikki Glazer's bit, she said, well, one more thing, I'm gonna keep it Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that was, I mean, boy.
She was so on fire.
Well, Nikki and Kevin Hart, they love to go at each other, and it's always really funny. Hey, this will be exciting for Phil Mushnick. Why? Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's alcoholic beverage is going to sponsor the Arizona Bowl.
What's the name of the beverage?
It was revealed that the Arizona Bowl will be presented by Gin and Juice.
It had to be, right?
Snoop said the intent is to bring the juice back to college football.
Right.
Orenthal?
No, not that one. The game, which was previously sponsored by Barstool, takes place on December 28th in Tucson. This was right after Snoop beat out YouPorn. It was going to be the YouPorn.com bowl.
I think I saw a quote from Snoop Dogg that said, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Is that true?
Yes. I made that up, but I'm sure that was what he said when he got involved in it, because that's part of the song.
That's exactly
what
right,
jersey
Tom.
is prominently seen in the video, Peter?
It's a Penguins jersey that says 94 Gin and Juice, if I recall. That's the name on the back. Shohei Ohtani has found his way after his scandal earlier this year.
Yeah.
2 home runs for Shohei. 4 for 4 as the Dodgers beat the Braves 5-1 to sweep the 3-game set. Shohei back.
I'll tell you what, it is impressive that all the things that have gone on, he's able to, just focus.
I mean, that's Shohei
Block
Ohtani.
out everything.
Well, Michael, you'll be happy to know that the Mavericks have signed Jason Kidd to a multi-year extension.
Wow.
This comes just days after Dave McMenamin reported that Kidd was mentioned as a potential candidate for the Lakers opening. Great year for the Mavs. Kidd is 51 years old, and he will be the Mavs head coach for the foreseeable future.
That bothers me.
That he's 51?
Yeah.
Not as much as Seinfeld being 70.
No,
though.
but still, it's up there.
That one hit you right in the noggin, though, didn't it?
Jason Kidd, 51 years old. My God.
Well, that's a weird one because you remember him as a high school All-American, don't you?
I'm again Cal.
I know. I remember him at Cal, too. That actually does feel pretty crazy. That'll do it for ENN. It's brought to you by our friends at Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Memorial Day sales event.
So you, Peter, are on your way to do your podcast with Beetle.
Correct.
Don, I don't know what you're doing.
I'm going to see the end of Marco's baseball game.
Oh, very nice. And I'm going to a big event that Yes is having at the Paley Museum.
Oh, not the Met Gala?
I wouldn't go to the Met Gala on a bet.
You're such a liar.
I would not.
You'd go in a
It's
heartbeat.
everything I hate.
You'd still go so
I
fast.
would not go.
Don, what do you think?
Why so late in the show did this come up? I'm sorry.
I would never go. Dress like a...
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, Brooklyn Nets Magazine. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Call your friends. Alert the neighbors.
It's a big rivalry game. We got action in the Bronx. Don't blink.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano.
And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Help save money on energy costs, plus help prevent costly breakdowns during the hottest months of the year by scheduling your $69 air conditioning tune-up now with AJ Perry. Call 844-668-7555 to keep your family cool all summer long.
This is Tonal, where every rep is analyzed, so your workout is optimized. This is Personal. This is Tonal.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning. Winning ranks higher than any other feeling, higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Told you so.
Higher than number 89, the feeling of catching your car keys with one hand. And number 78, thinking it's Friday when it's really Saturday. New players get 200 chances at winning with their first deposit on FanDuel Casino.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not going to leave me here, are you?
Get a new Tundra or Tundra iForce Max with 1.99% APR for 48 months, plus $1,000 TFS subvention APR cash. Or lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $499 a month.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Your attention, please. You're watching Yes.
You are watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Brooklyn's 2023-2024 season is finished, and as the team looks forward, perhaps the year that just ended will serve as fuel for success down the road.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. You know, didn't want this, but you gotta learn from it. You know, you gotta be better. It's the biggest thing I take from it.
Over the first few weeks of the regular season, a key trend was quickly established. Big numbers for Cam Thomas. Displaying a well-rounded game that he would maintain the whole way, Thomas took a huge step forward in his third NBA season.
To stay on the court and to really become an all-star caliber player, you got to play both ends of the court. So I think he's done a little bit better job defensively. There's still a lot of growth there, but I think the biggest thing for him is becoming a playmaker. And I think he understands that if I move the ball and I make the right play, eventually I'll get the ball back. And I think, some of the combinations he's had with Nick Claxton have worked really well. To be a terrific offensive player, it's not just scoring. He can do that. You have to keep teams off balance a little bit. And I think his ability now to break down the defense, get into the lane, and pass has made him an even better player. And the sky's the limit. He's a really young guy. He's got a lot of growth. The big thing for it will be, continue to improve, probably get in better, type of NBA shape and become a better defender.
Thomas helped the Nets pull off some exciting wins early, including a big comeback in Miami and a victory in Chicago that gave Brooklyn the win in its first ever in-season tournament game. However, tough times threw the Nets off course. Prior to the All-Star break, Brooklyn's campaign included a stretch that featured some great wins, but enough uncertainty to cause a coaching change. Joe Tsai and general manager Sean Marks made the decision to call upon one of their own, naming Kevin Ollie interim head coach. The Nets ended up falling short of making the play-in, but there were positive aspects down the stretch as the team finished up its schedule, including the performance of Nick Claxton, who nearly averaged a double-double for the season while living up to his reputation as an excellent defender.
I think, this year has definitely helped me, but it's also just showed me the areas in my game that I really want to grow in. I feel like I'm far from being a finished product, and I have a lot more work to put in, and that'll happen this offseason.
Inside look to Okongwu, and he's denied by Claxton at the rim.
Young players also took significant steps forward in their development, with a pair of rookies in particular showing the prowess and potential to contend for starting roles. While a tough season has concluded, the lessons it's taught could impact the Nets for a long time to come.
My biggest goal is winning and, being the best player I can be and to help lead and win. And that's what comes with, all-stars and stuff like that. It starts now. My assist go out there, be the best player I can be and keep improving and getting better at pretty much everything I got to, be better at and just get ready for next year.
Good morning and welcome to HSS Training Center. It is my honor and pleasure to be here with all of you on this very special day for the Nets organization as we introduce head coach Jordi Fernandez. This is an exciting time for the Brooklyn Nets organization, and for those of you like myself who have been here for a minute, it is a fresh journey for all of us as we get set. Can you give us your perspective on the Brooklyn Nets franchise and what this opportunity means to you?
Well, it's the beginning of a new chapter for my family, for myself. I've always believed that the next step in my career is never an ending point. What I really loved about the process that I went through to get the job was Joe and Sean's vision. We want to sustain success, and we want to do it in the long run. And that's what I believe, and this is what I think everybody in the organization should be part of.
What can we expect to see from you as a head coach? What sort of coach will New York be getting?
So we'll have a team that is extremely competitive on both sides of the floor, a team that is connected, so that means that they care about each other, and a team that is selfless, that it's going to put the team first. And I think this will give us the identity that we need. As you guys know, the NBA with 82 regular season games and then the postseason is going to be a challenge. There's going to be ups and downs, but like I said, if we're able to fight, we care about each other, and we put the team first, we're going to be very good in the long run.
If you were to think of your role as a presidency or some sort of other public office, what is your vision for your first 100 days on the job?
As you know, working with a group of people, you need to get to know everybody, get to touch everybody, and then from there you can organize everybody. Like Sean said, building relationships is extremely important. That's how you're connected, and it's not just me with the players, it's myself with the coaching staff, with the front office, with every single department, strength and conditioning, health, sports performance, the business side, the community. So I think that if you do care and you spend the time to do it, in the long run, it's going to work out. So, everybody says that, I do build relationships, and the reality is I don't know if I'm good or I'm bad at it. What I can tell you is that I try and I care, and that's a good start.
Sean, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. How important was it getting Jordi Fernandez? Because he was highly sought after.
Yeah, very. Thanks for having me. Look, we're in one way a little bit fortunate because we were able to start our coaching search, a month ago. You never want to really be in that situation, but when you find yourselves there, we were able to do a pretty extensive search there and looked at a variety of different candidates. Jordi was one that continued to stand out from us throughout the whole process in a variety of different ways, from basketball acumen to on and off the court expertise. So we're absolutely thrilled to have him.
Not going too far behind the curtain, but have you reached out? Have you talked to a lot of the players on the roster?
Yeah, I have talked to pretty much everybody. Spoke on the phone. I've seen some of them in person already. So to me, that is very important to begin with, because I want to show how organized we're going to be, what's our purpose for the summer, and to be ready for September. We cannot start in September. We have to start right now, and I think every player has been very excited. They've been great to deal with, and I'm very excited to be part of the community, me and my family. It's not going to be the same lifestyle that we had before, but it's not going to be better. It's not going to be worse. It's going to be an amazing experience.
Jordi, once again, congratulations on becoming the brand new head coach of the Nets, and we look forward to next season when you start.
Thank you so much. It's a big honor.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was a small child,
I wanted to be a celebrity by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
Can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Dude, did you know BetMGM has responsible gambling tools so you don't get carried away?
I never get carried away. Well, there were the bobbleheads. And the playoff beer.
Chili's ready!
Well, those tools could really help.
Don't forget about the backyard rink.
Yeah, these tools are pretty great.
BetMGM is committed to making gambling safe and fun with responsible gambling tools, so you don't get carried away.
Nets Magazine is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
One of the most legendary figures in the Nets organization's history is Herb Turetsky, who was a Nets official scorer for 54 years. Herb's legacy lives on through his foundation, and we spoke to his family about his lasting impact and the work his foundation is doing.
He's been there from day number one. Nobody has more passion for this franchise.
My name is Jeff Turetsky. I grew up going to Nets games, watching my grandpa as the official scorer of the Brooklyn Nets. It was so special to be with him at the Nets games.
From Teaneck to Long Island to East Rutherford to Newark to Brooklyn.
These are memories that I will never forget. My grandpa taught me the basics of the sport of basketball. He was the best educator/teacher.
I had a childhood unlike any other, and most kids would you go to bed with your stories of, I don't know, Goldilocks or whatever, but with us it was stories about the Nets. It was, talking about Dr. J and Super John Williamson and the ABA.
He truly loved what he was doing. It was special to him. It was something that he was able to share with his family as we started to have children, and be able to really expand that, not just with Jennifer and David as our children, but then with our grandchildren.
My dad and Harper's Bop's favorite saying was always that the ball is round because it brings the world together.
Dad always would tell me that basketball makes the world a smaller place.
Basketball was always what he called the circle of life, and it always brought our family together.
He wanted to have that connection with people. There would be, former students of his who would come to the Nets games, who would reach out to him and want to talk to him, and he was their elementary school teacher, but he still had such a huge impact on them. And when he passed, getting comments and letters or what have you from people that he taught 40, 50 years ago, he made way more of an impact in that world than I think he gave himself credit for.
In conclusion, it made sense to have a scholarship in his honor. I'm so lucky he is my grandpa because I love him so much.
It is possible that no one was more dedicated to the Nets franchise as Herb Turetsky, who served as the team's official scorer for 54 years and more than 2,200 games. Herb was equally as dedicated to education, as the Brownsville native spent time as a New York City school principal and educator. A scholarship to Medgar Evers College in his name lives on.
Basketball just created opportunity. It was a uniter for our family.
We always kind of referred to basketball as the family business, but the true family business through all of it was education. Mom is an educator, my sister, I now work in education. It had to go beyond basketball. We wanted to make sure that his memory lived on, and the Nets have been outstanding with that. The way that they've, also helped to embrace the idea of the scholarship. We were fortunate to partner with Medgar Evers and to be able to have this be something where a student from the basic area where Dad grew up in Brooklyn and East New York, to have that opportunity to attend a CUNY school where they can continue that education and that growth, it was just, the most natural of fits. It really means a lot to all of us to know that there are going to be students who are going to have opportunities that they might not have had otherwise because of something with his name on it.
Let's go Nets!